Hello everyone, Josh here with Enemy Impact, bringing out some more Duel Links. Today we're going to be going through a podcast live stream, so feel free to join us in the Discord below, jump into the voice channel, kind of express yourself, talk a little bit about the state of the game, 5D's release, what do you guys expect? Do you think Konami still cares about the players, or have they basically just given up, or do we give up on them? I don't know. Let me all know today in today's live stream. It's just a big open board discussion. Yo, what is up, Kappa? How is it going? Just making sure the podcast is going well. All right, cool. Yo, what's up, Ricardo? What's up, Kaon? Phantom, Furry, Lee Samurai, Rusty, Ryota X. How's it going? Tim? What's up, Penny? So, Dominic as well, welcome. Got a lot of people coming in. Got 30 people already watching. Awesome. Welcome, guys. What's up, Anthony? What's up, Speedy? What's up, Majin Goku? So, guys, this is basically an open forum, an open platform for myself and all of you to join us either on the live stream or in Discord on the voice channel. Talk a little bit about the game, about 5D's coming to Duel Links in a couple of days. What you guys feel, if there will be any changes or not. Do you think the game will get better or not? Or is it getting worse? I want to know what you guys' thoughts are about Konami, their interaction with the player base. What do you think is going on there? That's basically what we're here to talk about today. Let's see here. We're probably going to see Ancient Fairy and Power Tools. That'd be pretty cool. Dre, welcome. Ricardo, welcome. William, welcome. Kobe, welcome. Falk, welcome. Shadow Joe. Serial, welcome. Howdy, everybody. How are you doing? Stardust Dragon in a box is laughable, laugh aloud. Majin, that is actually very, very accurate. If indeed, like, the thing, see, this is why I have not made a rant video, because I'm still not 100% sure that Stardust will be in that box, or if it was just there to kind of promote that it's a Stardust support box. I have no idea at this moment until I get 100% clarification and validation that Stardust is in that box. I can't really make any kind of rant about that, so I'm just going to wait a couple days when everything releases, and then if I feel that there needs to be a rant, I will definitely release one. Otherwise, we're just going to go by what we have right now. And if Konami does put Stardust Dragon in a box, it'll be the first time that they put an ace monster in a box, and a main box at that. I mean, the announcer said main box, so we can only assume for now that the box will be a main box. Will it be a different type of main box? I don't know. This is the first time ever in Duel Links history that we had a main box jump right into another main box, and it's actually pretty crazy. DZ's recent Duel Links video sums up my thoughts perfectly. So, Josh, I recommend watching that after the stream over to get an idea of my issues with Duel Links. I have already seen that video from DZ. I agree on some points of that video. Some things I don't agree on, but that's what an opinion all is, right? We can't agree on everything, but for the most part, I kind of see where he's coming from. At this point, Money is just going to get rid of mini boxes. I mean, Majin, you might not be wrong. You might not be wrong. I heard that 5D's characters will only be able to get to level 30. That's what the leaks do say, Ryota. Again, we're not 100% sure on that either. I guess we'll have to see if Konami wants to change anything up. But that does indeed kind of limit how many gems that we can get when 5D says drops. And we do know we're going to get like 1,000 gems. We get a dream ticket and I believe Junk Warrior, a copy of Junk Warrior, if I do recall. Can we get... You guys, we can get 2 Stardust from the skill. See, Nerd, that's true, but Nerd, here's the problem. I don't like cards that can only be used by using a skill. that like really limits kind of your play style, because then if you want to run a specific card, you're forced to use a skill, and if that skill is not very good, especially in the meta, it just becomes worthless. So in my opinion, I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. And again, guys, if you'd like to join me live on the discussion here, you can jump into our Discord in the description below. Jump to the voice channel, and you guys can get your opinion across to the rest of the people here watching live as well. You guys can definitely jump in. It's an open forum. Anybody that's a Discord member of Anime Impact can jump on live right now with me and discuss these topics as well. So don't forget, guys. At this point, I think structure decks will be entirely replaced with EX structure decks because money baby. that would definitely suck. Complete paywall for sure. DZ's video was proving my point. True. What did you think that we'll unlock the 5D's world? What did you think we will do to unlock the 5D's world? I think it'll just be automatic, or it'll be some kind of really small thing where you have to have like stage 5 or something unlocked on the OG world. You know, something very small. I don't feel like it's going to be any kind of difficulty to unlock it. If you have to unlock it at all, it might just be automatic. We'll have to see. Hey, Anime, can I still join the voice chat things on Discord for the stream? Yes, you can, Yui. Yes, you can. We got QP in here and Fabio so far. So you guys feel free to jump in. If you're not shy on the mic, jump in.
What's going on, Anime?
Yo, what's up, Q? How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. Here's one thing that I really think that I don't know what you would think about it, is that if you think it needs to go to a 4-card minimum slot.
So you're asking, do you think we should go to an additional card slot?
Yeah, I think it should be a 4. Yeah, I think we should get the 4 deck slot, and I think it should be a 30-card minimum. I think it's the next step that it has to take to keep up with what's coming out.
I feel like I agree with you with the 30 cards for sure. I think that we definitely need to increase up to 30 cards at this point. I feel like the game has been power creep so hard, especially when Cyber Angels dropped. I feel like that was the big power creep that Duel Links ever had. I feel like when Cyber Angels first dropped, that was the huge jump forward and into the more modern style of meta compared to the older style cards that we kind of wanted to play when we first started playing Duel Links, the whole nostalgia thing. I feel like 30 cards is definitely at this point a must, because it's some of these cards are just getting way too consistent for a 20 card, for 20 card decks. They're opening up with strong hands way too often, or they can even in some situations manipulate their entire deck. Like vampires, for example. Their deck is structured in a way right now, they can basically manipulate their deck to be any kind of hands that they want, put anything in the grave that they want, get any combos off that they want at any time, especially with the aid of Cyber Style. I just feel like 20 cards is just not enough. We need to go up to 30. Definitely. I can agree with that for sure.
I think that would definitely help, because there's actually all these archetypes that are in there now that aren't good. They're actually going to be much better when this synchro, because arrow mages are a synchro based type, and then you give gravekeepers like Necro Valley, they pretty much can compete with these newer decks. They just need to kind of put the deck slots up so that way they can put in these cards that they've been holding back, so that way we can see there's 12 to 10 decks that are everybody's playing. We won't see the same 5 decks that we see every month. It's getting kind of stale in that regard.
Yeah, for sure. And I think another thing is, and sorry guys, I want to take a moment to say this. Sorry guys if I'm not reading all of your messages. There's so many people talking at once. I do apologize for that. But I feel like we do need to increase our life points. I think 5,000 life points, 6,000 life points isn't too hard to ask. Because right now, I understand Konami wants to make the game a speed format where you're OTKing pretty quickly. The games are going over very fast. But on the other side of the coin, when do you say that too fast is too fast? You know what I mean? When is the game moving too quickly before it's not fun anymore? Should we try to make the game be balanced in a way to where games can go at least 5 to 6 turns instead of just 2 turns?
Yeah, I agree.
Do you guys... Like, you guys in the chat, you guys feel that just going in by turn 2, you know, the game's already decided, or even if the game's already decided by coin toss, do you feel that that just might be way too fast?
I agree. That's right. It's only about to get worse because I don't know. I have a strong feeling. I don't know any of her stuff yet, but I have a feeling that Akiza is going to be the main engine of this new stuff coming in because the plants already have the foundation laid. All they need is a couple of these tuners as a level up rewards, and the plants literally go from being nothing to tier 1. I'm pretty sure in about a week. I can feel it. It's going to happen.
Well, see, another issue that I'm worried about with Duel Links with the release of 5D's is how many people are going to stick around, because a lot of people jumped into Duel Links for the nostalgia. They were basically wanting to come in, play with some of their older archetypes like Red Eyes, Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, Harpies, stuff like that. You know, the older classics, the OGs. And now that we're transitioning into the more modern style of Yu-Gi-Oh! With, you know, Synchros, we already got cards in the game like Sylvans. We got Mermails already. We got UAs. We've got, you know, Vampires. And we also have, what was it more modern? Fur Hire. So we already got a lot of more modern style of Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetypes in the game. And I just feel like, is the nostalgia burning off for a lot of you?
Well, I basically grew up on 5D, so, you know, I was just waiting for that forever. Also, I'm a big fan of you, Ann, and Impact, big fan.
Thank you so much, man.
Impact, just want to let you guys know that they can barely hear the other members in the voice call, so please, you gotta adjust that, because in the stream they can barely hear you guys.
Oh, snap.
Alright, let me see.
Yeah, my phone's pretty crap when it comes to, you know, voice stuff.
All right, somebody in the Discord chat say something.
Hello.
That's still not coming through right. That's so weird. Hold on, guys. Just having technical difficulty.
That's fine.
So you think Jack's gonna be there in, like, day 1? Or, you know, since they featured him so heavily in, like, the live stream?
I think it's going to be like a U-Bill thing where you get up to a high enough level, they'll pretty much say, hey, he's coming, but we won't see him until, like, January.
Come on, like... Another thing I've been thinking about, you know, like, Jack's Red Dragon Archery has a retrain. You know,
Yeah, Scarlet Red Dragon Archery. Yeah.
You think it's gonna be in the game? Because I think it's like super broke. It basically, like, its effect is once per turn, you can destroy all monsters with attack like lower than special summon monsters with attack lower than its monster, which is 3,000. You just wipe your opponent's board. And thing about it is, unlike, you know, Obelisk, it can still attack.
It'll be in the game, but that's one reason why he's not going to be day 1, because the Archfiend Dragons and all their support is something that you can plug in and literally dominate with day 1 if they did it correctly. So I think that's why they're pushing them back to January, so they can power creep all the way up, and then you can just get them and automatically do what needs to be done with them.
Cause Red Dragon Archery has basically its own pot of greed, it has its own Feather Duster. Cause Red Dragon Archery has basically its own pot of greed, it has its own
I'm just looking forward to Black Rose Dragon, because I like its board wiping effect, and it looks pretty cool. And although I haven't watched a lot of 5Ds, I still like how the Black Rose Dragon looks, and yeah, can't wait for that. I still like how the Black Rose Dragon looks.
Something's too loud.
Can't wait for that. I still like
somebody. Yeah.
All right, guys. Hold on, guys. All right, so if you're in the Discord chat, can you mute the stream? Because it's coming through my head. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
That was me.
All right. So I want to check something now, guys. I'm gonna have somebody else in the Discord chat say something, and I want you guys to tell me in the chat here on the stream if you can hear them pretty good now. So if anybody in the Discord just wants to say something really quick.
Something. Something.
Okay.
Something.
All right. Cool. All right. So did you guys hear them okay now in the stream, on your guys' end? Is everything good to go now, audio wise? Did you guys hear the other people all right? All right. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so we should be good. Oh, good now. Nice. Good. So anyway, so let's change subjects for a moment. All right. So what do you guys feel that Konami's intentions are now for Duel Links going forward? Do you feel that they might be trying to put the squeeze on the free-to-play players, or do you feel that there might be a plan in play?
As a free-to-play player myself, it basically sucks. Like the gem nerf, like I'm not like, to be honest, I'm not like buying anything for actual money because I'm basically broke. I'm so gem reliant, and I just like get lucky. Like I made a semi-competent gem knight deck, which isn't meta, but it helps me win some games.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, it took me months to get them. So yeah.
Here's my thought. And it's it sounds bad at first, but just hear me. Actually, in the scheme of between this and people transitioning to the actual card game, what was their original intention, kind of bringing them in, then going to the actual card game, it actually, in the grand scheme of things, is not a bad. It's a bad price point if you're just looking to pick up something and play, but compared to you, say you like this game, you're like, I want to go play in the TCG and just have fun, that your minimum real deck in a TCG is going to be $200 at the bottom line. I mean, here you could probably spend $25 to $30 and get you something that'll probably last 60 days, because you know how they go. It's about 60 days and then something's irrelevant. So that's about normal. But I mean, I can understand where people would say that the prices are getting where it's starting to be more of a concern. But actually, in Konami's grand scheme of things, this is actually probably the cheapest route of their products they have, which is actually kind of sad. I know.
What do you guys think about the possibility of us on the 25th not only getting a new structure deck, which thankfully it's not an EX structure deck, but the fact that we're also might be getting another main box? So we would, for the first time ever, be essentially going from a one main box into another. Do you feel that this was part of Konami's scheme of making packs that are main boxes 180 packs now going forward instead of 200? Because
that'd be just dreadful. That'd be just dreadful.
I think this isn't even. I don't think it's a main box or a mini box. I think this is just like its own standalone like introduction to Synchro box. I think this will be like one of those things that's just there, but it doesn't have a classification.
Yeah, I understand, because many new players, not new players, from the Duel Monsters area, who remember the Yami Yugi stuff. You might know what I think was they're like Synchro. What?
Well, my stance when I saw it, when I did my video on it yesterday, what I thought about it when I saw it was the announcer did call it a main box, but it could be a new type of main box, or he might have said that in error, because who knows? We don't really have the facts to back up either way there. And the fact that I think a lot of people are concerned is they have Stardust Dragon featured as the possible UR card in the box. But until we actually have further proof of that, I'm kind of like 50-50. I'm thinking, are they actually going to put that in the box, or is that there to kind of just showcase that the box is going to be for Stardust support? We don't we don't know, and that's why I didn't really want to make a rant video about it, because a lot of people are asking where's the rant for that, because a lot of people would in fact be pretty pissed off if they actually started putting ace cards like Stardust in a box, because then this is the problem that we're going to have. If they're going to put Stardust Dragon in a box set, then that also means that we're probably going to see Black Rose Dragon in a box set. We're going to see Red Dragon Archfiend in a box set, etc., etc. And that would not be good for anybody. So I'm hoping, using the word hope when you're talking about anything with Konami is pretty scary, but I'm hoping, I'm grasping at straws here, hoping that Stardust was only featured there to showcase the box was for Stardust support and not actually put Stardust in the box. Because if they did that, I just feel like the outrage would just be astronomical.
I think you're right. I think it's not. I don't think he's the main box. I think that was just like it was something that everybody would know and kind of given, kind of a indication of what it was going to be about. I think actually the main cards of the box are going to be. I think since it's kind of perfect timing because they just had the Yusei promo 10 come out. I think some of his promo cards will actually be the main cards from this set. I think you'll get like Stardust Assault Warrior and like Junk Synchron and stuff like that will be main cards that you'll probably get from this box.
The reason I think like they put like Stardust on the thing, or they're probably gonna make them like a Ultra if they do make it a cover card, is because unlike Neos and Dark Magician, Stardust was actually competitively relevant in the TCG. I mean, when he first came out, he was being seen playing like basically almost every early synchro deck. I think he's still seeing play today a lot. You don't see like Neos and Dark Magician because their decks are like mediocre at best. So that's my opinion.
Right. I mean, it makes sense.
Here's one thing I think this had to do with the box, but I think this is something that they hadn't announced, but I think it'll happen because you remember when GX came last year, you had no indication. Like when we got the bingo mat from Mocha, but I think there's going to be a random character like that from one of the older shows that is going to be unlockable. Like it's just something that we didn't know that they just randomly stick in there that they didn't think was worth an event.
Right.
I reckon it would be actually really sad if it was another main box.
I guess that could happen.
Because if it was another main box, that would be really infuriating to quite a lot of people, as you said before. Because I'm still going through the newest main box trying to get the Mirror Force card and also a few other ones to get.
So what meta decks you think are gonna come up with with synchros come out? Like you think Blackwings are gonna be pretty good?
I think when synchros come out, the problem I have with synchros is I feel like Konami has two options. I feel like right now, given what we have back row wise, I don't think synchros from the synchros that we actually have leaked. We don't know what's all going to be in the new main box or whatever the level up cards will be yet. But from what we do know, the synchro support isn't that great, and there's so much back row right now that just kind of doesn't allow synchros to really see too much play, even with some of the skills that were leaked. Because cards like Floodgate, Canadia, Onslaught, for example, even the new Yubel Phoenix, stuff like that, even Vampires will give synchros a really, really hard time. So I feel like a way to counterbalance that is Konami going to release maybe possibly anti-trap, anti-back row cards in a new main box to kind of complement the new synchros that are coming to try and make them popular. And of the synchros that are being released, I definitely think that Black Rose Dragon probably by far has the best shot at being a meta deck, because of all the plant support that we already have in a game. Like, we have Carrot Weight Champion that can keep coming back from the grave, and then we also have Rose Lover, of course. So that just gives Black Rose Dragon a good boost of being able to get to see the field a lot more often.
There's two right now off the top. If they just get like 3 cards each, that would literally be the meta right off the bat. And that was, like he said, the plants were good. Like the Aero Majors are literally like 3 cards away from having everything they need to be their normal deck. And then zombies can really take over because you got cards like Unizombie, Shirayu, Soltar, stuff like that would literally just make those tier 1 if they just got like 3 cards in this box.
Do you think they would put what's it called? It
could happen.
Well, they'll never give us Unizombie. They'll never give us Unizombie. I can see that now.
Yeah, Unizombie was absolutely great when released in the TCG. Basically, every single zombie deck was running it. Basically, make
because it's a guaranteed frame Lord Omega every turn. You don't have to do anything.
I have a good question for everybody, both here live on Discord and everybody live on the chat. Here's a good question for everybody. Here's something that not too many people have been talking about, and Konami hasn't really, discussed either. Are they going to increase the extra deck size?
Oh,
it's got to go to 10. If it doesn't go to 10, I'm riding.
there will be a revolution. We will revoke.
Because I mean, even your standard extra deck compared to you'd probably want to run in any case. You want to run probably 2 to 5 synchros, and there might be some plays where you actually need 2 or 3 fusion monsters. Like, there's no way you can keep it at 5. There's no way.
Yeah, the extra deck space is like super tight, man. Like you have that like one extra deck monster that you want to put there, but like, should I put this one for that one? It's just a mess.
Yeah.
And do you feel that maybe synchros will fall under the same bad habits of fusion, where you're going to be sacrificing a lot of assets, running only a 20-card deck, and then if something it does happen to your synchro and you don't get to perform anything that you're trying to perform or getting your combos off, do you feel that synchros might be dead in the water before they even drop?
Because in that regard, I don't think so, because synchros, a lot of their stuff, like glow up bulb and stuff like that, even if you get rid of it, they have a lot of way of getting their stuff back, or usually, if some cases, most boss synchro monsters have it when they leave, they're bringing something on the field in the return of them leaving. So they have a little bit more flexibility compared to most of the fusions that we had, because there are some good fusions, but obviously we're not going to get them. But compared to fusions, they have a little bit more given than they do taking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, synchros are like really powerful. Like a lot of them, like Stardust Dragon. It's basically like negate any extraction effect and just destroy it, and it comes back. So I don't know, against like I don't know, maybe Ferraris, I guess, is good at negating stuff, but I'm not too sure.
So when 5D's drops, we're getting so far 5 characters, but Konami's done something in the past couple days that's got me a bit skeptical of what their plans are. Now, from the leaks, everybody knows from the leaks, if you've seen the leaks, if you have not, you'll be hearing them for the first time right now. Jack Atlas is expected to be here in January as an unlock event. However, that was before Konami released a new trailer showcasing Jack as a character, but no gameplay. So a lot of people were still like, they just showed him for promotional work. But then yesterday, when Konami actually did their live stream, they actually had gameplay of actually summoning Red Dragon Archfiend and actually playing as Jack Atlas. So what does everyone think about that? Do you think that's just a marketing ploy? Would they go that far? Or are they actually going to think about bringing him out on the 25th? What do you guys think about that?
He won't be out. The voice actor, the Japanese voice actor, even he was like he said he didn't want to use, that's why he didn't use him in the live stream, because he said that he's not going to be out, and he said that Jack's so big that he needs his own spotlight when he comes out. So he's kind of even hinting at the fact that he's not going to be there. I don't have any confirmation, but this is what I think is going to happen. I think they'll get those 5, and then like they did with the Mocha, but I think because whenever those leaks came out about the character listing, they didn't have this character listed, so I think they're going to just give them to us. I don't have any proof, but I think they're going to give us somebody like a normal America, somebody like that, where you can just get them by doing a bingo match or something like that. I think that's what's going to be the 6th character that we're going to get as just a giveaway. I have a feeling.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that it might have been a mistake to hold off Jack for that late, because of the fact that Jack is kind of the equivalent of Kaiba to Yugi, kind of with Yusei and Jack?
Yeah, definitely,
Do you feel like Jack should have been in the release with the rest of the gang, and then they put Crow as an unlockable character later down the road?
I don't really know, because originally, like, I don't know if like a lot of you know this, Crow was really supposed to be in the assigner like in the beginning, but it's supposed to be like Leo was supposed to be a signer earlier, but he got later on series if you didn't see like the sub version. But Crow was supposed to be like like a minor character, but they put him in, made him a signer because of Blackwing was selling really good. But Jack is basically like, he's like one of the most important characters of probably he's one of my favorite characters of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like ever. His deck is awesome, his personality is awesome, so it really like pissed me off when I heard the leaks that they're gonna like put him dead in January, because that's just retarded. And when I saw the trailer, yeah, like all like 6 of the signers, like you have like all the Stardust Dragons, they're like very iconic, but you leave one out. That's just dumb.
Well, here's the thing. It's a lose-lose situation. Either you put him in, and his cards are so good, they literally only give us 3 of them, and he just sucks for 5 months, or they hold him off till January, and they let him come out then, and he just has all his ridiculous cards, and everybody's mad because he's OP out the gate. So I think it's a lose-lose situation. I'd rather him be available day one, but either way you do it, it's not going to be good either way, because he's either going to be unstoppable or he's going to be not even worth using. So it's kind of just a no-win situation.
I have a very loose theory. Now, this is a very, very loose theory, so take this all with a grain of salt. But Konami, over the past few months, has shown that they are very much against burn. They've tried to hit all the stall decks as well that were a part of running burn. I mean, they've hit Weevil already once before. They've hit Extra. They've hit Ojama Go. They hit Massive Morph. And I think it's only going to be a matter of time before they hit Swordswoman. And, you know, Jack's deck is kind of built roughly around a concept of burning your opponent as well. So maybe that could be some kind of reason why they're holding Jack off a bit, maybe, so they can give Crow and Blackwings a chance to kind of be something and milk that. I don't know, that's just a very loose theory, but Konami's definitely shown that they distaste burn.
I could see that, because almost all of his monsters' effects do some sort of burn damage every turn, and then you have just his spell and trap card lineup is already ridiculous. I mean, that's a very valid reason. I could see something like that just being a reason they would never admit to it.
Right.
Yeah, I understand that, but the feature him so heavily in the like the advertising though. I mean, I saw your video and I agree with your point. Like you know, he like having him in the thing despite him not being going to be in Duel Links, and they want that's just you know, really dumb. Like if you're like a new player and you love 5D's, you love Jack, you see Jack in the advertising, you're thinking be like, oh cool, I'm gonna play as Jack, because you know people play as anime characters. You find out you're going into 5D's and then Duel Links, and you're just disappointed.
Somebody in the chat says that they're hearing somebody's phone vibrate. Somebody got their phone on vibrate?
Yeah, somebody does. I can hear it.
Scorpio, I think it's you.
Wow.
But so I mean, like we've talked about why Jack may or may not be coming soon. We've talked about a little bit of what 5D's has to offer Synchro Summon, you know, what it's going to do for the game. We've talked a little bit about free-to-play. Is it dead? Does there still have a chance for free-to-play? I think free-to-play players are definitely going to have a hard time, though, going forward, because if it is true and the new characters that we're getting will max out at 30 for now, like I don't think it's going to be a permanent thing, but the fact that it's only going to be maxed out at 30 for now, it kind of got me a little bit nervous for free-to-play players going forward, because that's level 30. That's level 31 to 45 worth of gems you're going to be missing out on. And if they continue the new route of level 30s not giving you gem rewards, you're now missing out on another 1,500 gems right there, right off the bat, from the new 5 characters that are coming. The fact that the new celebration, as far as we can see, is only going to be 1,000 gems, which is much lower than when GX released. And the fact that box sets, even mini ones, are now 100 packs instead of 80, they're really pushing the agenda of making people have to spend more money or more time to get gems to go into these box sets. What do you guys think about all that?
Well, do you think they're going to keep the same format? You don't think, since they're doing 30 levels, that they won't change, like maybe instead of being the normal gem route, like number 18, like 17, 18, and 19 will be gems, and then they'll readjust as far as where cards will be and what the rewards will be in comparison to the level?
See, that's where I'm still in the fence. I'm like, okay, so the announcer said the new box that's coming is a main box, but is that a 180 pack main box, or is that a new type of main box that we've never seen before? Like,
yeah, probably.
I mean, you can call anything main or mini, but it doesn't mean it has to be the same type of main or mini that we've had in the past. So it's like, I don't know, it could be different. It could be the same old that we've already had. But I mean, I guess we'll all know in a couple days. So we don't got too much longer to wait to find out. But it's definitely unfortunate, though, if it is indeed another 180 pack main box, because that's 2 main boxes back to back. And I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, there is the excuse that you could use saying, oh, players, you could just, you know, save up. You know what boxes are coming from the leaks. But I've found out, you know, from over the years that the casual market for a game, the casual user, a lot of them don't watch YouTube videos. A lot of them don't look at Reddit, and a lot of them don't use Discord. So for a lot of players out there that play Duel Links, that watch a YouTube video on occasion to kind of just see what's going on with the game or watch a favorite YouTuber, they may or may not ever know of the leaks. So therefore, they can't plan ahead when they spend their gems. And Konami knows that. So we can't really use the excuse that, oh, the players know what boxes are coming, so they should know to save their gems. That's just not the case. So going from one main to another could definitely hurt a lot of free-to-play players right now in the past couple months if they were not saving. There's probably still a lot of players that didn't even know up until just a couple of days ago that 5D's was even coming soon. Because that's just how a casual market works. They don't look into these things.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Here's something I want to ask you, and because this is it's actually a question that I see a lot of people that are asking over there in the chat. It's just that they're doing this every year. Something new's coming out. I feel like there's still such an untapped market in both of the ones that are out. Like, we didn't get nearly any of the GX characters that that were really memorable. We didn't get a lot of those. We still have characters from like the original Duel Monsters, like Siegfried and guys like that, the Orichalcos guys. There's so much stuff that they have, and they spread these unlock events out 3 months at a time. I think the best way for them to handle it would be to do a 1 month cycle of each. So this month will be a Duel Links or a Duel Monster character unlock. Next month we'll do a GX. Then this we'll do a 5Ds, and then we'll just circle back around. So there'll be one unlock every month, because there's still so many characters they don't have, and there's just no way they can plan on giving all these guys out on these time frames that they plan ahead on.
Can't believe that the Econo Force guy is finally coming.
Yeah. Took them long enough.
So we've discussed what Konami may or may not be planning with free-to-play. We've discussed the whole 5Ds for what information we have now for the next couple days. So now let's talk about more of the technical side of things. Do you feel that when 5Ds drops, Konami will start finally making some changes to things that a lot of us have been asking for, either by a survey or contacting them directly? Like some of the examples that we could talk about is the UI. Do you feel that having another world that you have to jump in it out of is going to be just absolutely annoying? We also have the DC errors that continue to plague us after almost 2 years of the game being out. We have the low EXP. Do you feel that 500 EXP after almost 2 years is just ridiculous, especially with characters going clear to 45, that maybe they need to increase that or somehow make that a little bit better? What else can we talk about? What other problems do we have? Oh, yeah, ranked PvP. Probably the biggest issue that a lot of us have. The streak system.
Right.
So, I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on any of those? Do you feel that any of those are going to be changing? Do you think Konami cares to change them, or they're just going to remain the same?
No, it's going to remain the same.
Yeah, they're people call them Co-Money for a reason.
In a perfect world, what I'd like to see is after this major update we're going to have to do come, Monday or Sunday night, however the time frame falls, whatever major update, I'd like to see them literally take every card that's on these tickets and just wipe them out and just put everything new. I want to see a complete revamp, but in my heart of hearts, I absolutely know that's not going to happen. But you got to be positive about something. So I'll try to be optimistic and say they'll definitely fix this. We just got to wait for that update to come this week. So we'll see what happens.
Well,
Yeah, I just want to fix like the ranked PvP, because like you go on there and say that you keep winning and then you like lose a bunch of times and then you have to do all that stuff over again. It's just so tedious. I don't like the grinding game because Duel Links is fun, but I feel like there's not like like fulfilling. Like I play Duel Links because basically like the casuals are like the animations. You use your Ace Monsters are like different anime characters, but I tried getting competitive like a couple months ago, and the rank PvP just was extremely tedious.
It is.
Here's an idea I'd like to bounce off all you guys and everybody, even everybody that's on the chat. What do you think about this? Say that as a rank system, maybe say I'm a Plat 1, and I get ranked up. I get matched up with a Plat 5. Let's say even if I just won 2 games, or if I'd lost 2 or something, if I could beat somebody who was at such a high rank for me, that should be an automatic level up based off of the gap of whatever. That would be an interesting thing. Say, Legend 1 plays as a Legend 3, you could automatically jump to Legend 2 because you play somebody of a higher caliber compared to your level.
Right. Well, I just feel like ranked PvP, if they would build it more like the first stage of KC Cup, nobody would have an issue. Going, winning 2 or 3 in a row to keep ranking up to, say, up to 15, and then 15 is the safe spot, and then you get 15 to 19, you win 2 or 3 in a row, and then on 19 to 20, you have to win 4 in a row, but even if you do lose 1, you can still win 3 more in a row, and you'll still get your rank up. I felt like the grind for Stage 1 of KC Cup, from going from level 0 to 20, was so much easier and less stressful than trying to go from just Plat 1 to KOG.
Yeah, I reckon Konami, that if they played their cards right, they could treat this whole 5D's thing as like a clean slate to everything and all the
I really
problems.
agree with that.
Yeah, the PvP tickets, the gem nerfs, like everything that people have been complaining about. They'll go, okay, we're sorry, let's treat this whole new thing that we're advertising as a clean slate and just fix it.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the ring PvP is it's been butchered so long that, I think as players, we deserve better, finally. We've been grinding it out long enough. And another thing that always irritated me was when the KC Cup or World Championship qualifiers were going on at the same time as ranked PvP. You're now making your players go from already no-lifing to no-lifing plus, which that shouldn't be a thing. You're now grinding out 2 ranked versions of the same kind of PvP format, and it's like, and especially if you're free to play, I really feel bad for them because they're trying to get KOG every month just to get those 200 gems, and they got to beat all of the Stage 1 of KC Cup to get their 1,000+ gems. So they're doing both in that month, and that is just way too much of a grind for very minimum rewards.
That's my biggest complaint is whenever the KC Cup comes and you have to play the freaking 72 hours straight. Just they need to think of another way to do something, because I don't know about you guys, but I got to work. I can't be playing this game all day, and I don't even want to play it all day, let alone just to win so many games. And there's still some kid that's halfway across the world in Korea that won 10 more games, and he gets all the stuff anyway. So it just needs to be kind of revamped in a bad way.
Literally, that's what I said. If Konami would convert the first stage of KC Cup into everyday ranked PvP, imagine when KC Cup came around. You would basically just be trying to get KOG to get your 3,000 gems for that month, which would automatically allow you to enter Stage 2. There wouldn't be a Stage 1 KC Cup and ranked PvP. There would just be ranked PvP, get the KOG in a KC Cup style format, and then you play your second stage if you want.
Yeah, because I heard the guy who win the KC Cup. Don't quote me on this, but I think he did 36 hours straight, which in my opinion is absolutely ridiculous. I could never do that. I gotta give max props to that guy.
Well, what you just said is a big issue with Duel Links. This game, by definition, is a mobile application. A mobile game is supposed to be a play-as-you-go, play on the go, whatever. But with Duel Links, if you want to play it to its utmost, you are not playing on the go. You're playing with your charger hooked up to a wall, or you're playing on an emulator, or you're sitting down at your desktop on PC playing for several hours ongoing, daily. And that's just to keep up with the game. That's not a mobile game. That's an MMORPG by definition.
What was that?
Yeah, because I do not like grinding, especially like minimal payoff. Like I'm basically like mediocre. Like I'm still like competitive Duel Links. So like when I did the KC Cup, I won something, but I just absolutely got destroyed. And I said, I'm not wasting like all that time doing like all that stuff.
It's just it's a lot of a grind. And it's funny, too, because the way they designed the game, even if you are a pay-to-win, you're a whale or whatever, a megalodon, whatever you want to call yourself, there's still so many cards out there that you need to throw into your decks that require you to farm. So even as a pay-to-win, you still just can't go in and buy everything you need. Sometimes you still have to sit there and dedicate a lot of time. So not only now are you dedicating a lot of time, you're dedicating a lot of money. So Konami's beating you down twice. They're taking your wallet and they're taking your time.
Yeah, it is hitting everybody hard, no matter like if you're like hardcore or like super casual. You getting screwed.
It's crazy.
There needs to be a little bit better format. I think there needs to be a little bit more of an incentive of something that that really makes me want to even want to play for a long amount of time anyway. Because I mean, right now, I mean, like getting the King of Games, like I mean, once you've done it once, you might as well just never do it again. I mean, there's nothing, there's no parade, there's no streamers, it's just a rank.
Like, ta-da! Congratulations!
What they should do, which would be cool, what they don't know if they ever do, like say if you get King of Games or if you get something at the KC Cup, there should be like some say you get King of Games, it could be something like, you hit King of Games, you can get one of these 3 sample cards from upcoming boxes to use or something like that. Would be something cool. That would give people more incentive to play. Like if you got to use something early just to test it out, and then if you don't reach King of Games, you've got to wait till whenever they release it to get a copy of whatever it is that they're using for that month.
I mean, King of Games to me right now is nothing. It's not even an achievement anymore. It's like once you've achieved King of Games the first time, you're excited because you literally hit the pinnacle of success in this game beyond, of course, the World Championships. And once you've done it, and then you've done it again and again, and you feel like you're going through the motions every single month, it's like it's not fun anymore. And I feel like there's nothing else to do in the game. You're either farming up cards or events that have been repeated a million times, or you're grinding it out on ranked PvP. And then once you've hit King of Games, you still find yourself playing more PvP because you're limited on anything else you can do. It's almost like they're not forcing you, but it feels like you're being forced to play ranked because there's nothing else to do in the game.
Yeah.
Josh, can I say what this game needs? If I can.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it's been a while. Hello, guys. I think what this game might need that might excite fans is something that you brought up like way back is story mode. Like it's something different. Like we'll be engaged, and then I don't know. I feel like story mode in this game, and if the rewards is gems, like it's worth it rather than playing standard duelist, auto dueling. It's getting kind of boring. Like.
Well, that
like something different like that.
100%. I 100% agree with that. Story mode. Now, here's a cool concept of story mode. Not only do we get a story mode, but that story mode actually plays out as if we were actually in an anime. They could either make it just a complete non-canonical anime, just a whole new little series for just story mode, or we can actually follow the real series, and that'll allow us to play nostalgic decks that we saw in anime that we grew up as kids and we wanted to play. And they put us in those situations throughout the game, and we can use those to earn rewards and stuff like that. They could even make gold and stupid jewels and stuff like that have value because we might be able to get stuff from like a story mode shop or something. I don't know. Anything.
I think the story mode, I think it would be the greatest way. That would be the greatest way to implement anime-only cards. Like say that's the only. Say you had to beat this duel with Yugi versus Kaiba in this certain way. You got the special anime-only card that you can only get through beating it through this certain objective-based way in the story, and that'd be a great way to give certain cards that you don't necessarily have to buy or stick them in some event, you could just get them through playing the story mode, and they could be those special cards like that don't ever really get printed. It gives Duel Links more of a reason to be played than other games, so you'll get certain cards that you can't get anywhere else.
Replace
like Ojama Mandala. That's an anime only card. They got that in, like, the Chad event.
Replace the stage missions with a story mode. That's simple.
Oh, that's truly lovely. I would love that.
Just take away the dumb stage missions. Take away the 3 different worlds. Make an actual just one nice UI'd menu with a story mode that brings everything together that we can play and progress through. And every time there's a new event, they can even throw in a special story event too for that specific event during that time period. That stuff is the little things that Konami could do that would make players excited, make players happy and enjoy the game. I mean, it always had high potential, but I just feel like Konami is now more looking at the money and less about the quality of the game.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I think. I think it is Konami. I don't think, because you talk to the like when the developers or something like this, or the people that actually make the cards talk about this game in interviews and stuff, they love it. I think it's just that they're kind of handicapped on what they can do by what the big wigs at the studio are saying needs to be green lighted. So I think it's kind of a conflict of interest where one team wants to do maybe all the stuff that we're talking about, and then there's another guy that says we need to do this, stick to this, because this is by metrics and by whatever this is going to give us the best result for what we're looking for.
Let's look at this from Konami's perspective for a moment. Konami wants this game to succeed not in terms of quality and player excitement, but more along the lines of always falling in the black. They want to make as much profit from this game as possible. Any company would do that. You'd be crazy. You wouldn't be in business. You wouldn't work it for a company if your goal wasn't to make money. However, I feel like Konami would make a fortune and balance the game up pretty well if they would actually do more on the cosmetic side of things. Bring in more cosmetic items for players who want to spend money and support your game, and they want to be unique. Let them buy up cosmetics. And if Konami doesn't think that formula doesn't work, they need to go look at Fortnite with Epic Games. They are making a fortune off of cosmetics. Get into some contract negotiations with fellow companies in Japan like Sony. Let us rock some Spider-Man skins, man. Like game mats and sleeves and stuff like that. Or even get in touch with Nintendo. Get in touch with any other game company.
That was my idea. Nintendo was the perfect platform because they have the portable console. You can make the game kind of integrate with that. That is the perfect person for them to go talk to.
Oh, I would love it on the Switch.
How many?
Also,
how many
people have like custom like animations for like different like ace cards? Like if you don't like animation, just an idea.
What if we even got like other cosmetics that they could do now, like different color schemes and stuff for the cards, or give us alternative artwork more often instead of just once in a blue moon? It's like there's a lot of things they can do cosmetically with the game that would make them a fortune, but not disrupt the actual balance between free to play and pay to win to an extent where it just becomes unbearable.
You know what I think Konami should do? Because since they love money so much, and there's so many older box sets, obviously the older players will hate it because we spend so much money on this game. I feel like the older box sets that not a lot of people get on, like pay $50 for the first mini box, and they'll get 3 copies of each, and $100 for the main boxes. You get 3 copies of each because nobody's gonna drop. But with the deals, the first 5 to 6 deals is $120. So if they think about, let's get people to suck in and to buy each box, make it $50 for a mini box, get 3 copies, like the ones that came out a year and a half ago that nobody's gonna get into, and then $100 for the main box and get 3 copies of each card, because nobody is actually wasting gems to get like a Saphira or Trap Hole, whatever. Like, I feel like that's what they should do because I doubt they're gonna put it like what you said, Josh, into the card trader so we can use that gold, because then they won't gain any money.
If they would make the boxes more affordable, if they would make some kind of system where they always look into the ban unlimited list every month, that way we know the cards that we do invest in actually have longer than a 30-day lifespan, which would be phenomenal. And if they would somehow start discounting older boxes, Konami, Duel Links is a gacha game. A lot of people keep forgetting that, but it is a gacha game. And if you compare it to other gacha games, other gacha games, after so long, the older banners, which in this game would be comparable to a box set, would be lower. They would be cheaper. They'd be discounted because the cards effectively are losing their value. But for whatever reason, Konami tries to maintain that value artificially, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, think of a new player right now. If they want to go in and get a Karibo, they should be spending 25 gems per pack, not 50.
So let me throw this at you then. Let's say they went full TCG. So let's say you had the option to do, let's say the older boxes from boxes 6, 10 and so below. You could just buy the whole flat rate of the box. Let's say you could spend $35, get the box, and then on newer boxes they gave you a flat rate of 60. You could just buy the whole box at a time. Would you be fine with just full box purchases?
Yeah.
Full box purchases, probably, yes, because then you're being discounted for going into the box a lot, which you're going to have to do anyway.
Yep.
It's like you're not going to walk into a box and go in 40, 50 packs and be done. It's not going to work that way because there's too many SR and URs that you're going to need multiple copies of. So yeah, I would honestly just say, hey, if you spend $60, you get the whole box completely. A lot of people would probably go for that. They'd love that. That'd be great. But they would also have to try and transition that in a way too. If you're going in with gems, for example, if I'm going to go in and say you can open 10 at a time for 500, right? Say I want to open like 100 at a time. Maybe they'll discount the total gems I have to use to go in for 100 packs. Since I'm putting more of a big investment in there, the risk is bigger. They reward you a little bit by making the price a little bit less.
Yeah, I think if they did like the full boxes, I think 60 is a good fair price point for a new one, and 35 is a great one for a discount. That would be a great two-way price point.
And they could also mix cosmetics in with that. So if you buy the whole box, you also get a one of a card sleeve and a card mat of from all the selections that you haven't gotten yet as well as the box. I reckon that'd be pretty cool.
Well, there was one idea that I had a long time ago, and I've had it a few times, and it was a conversion. It was a new conversion system. It was basically, how many times have you went into a box with sales and got SR URs, and then you end up, when you're done getting the cards you need, you have more than 3 copies of a box SR UR, and the only thing that you can do with it is convert it for gold or a jewel, which some people could have used a lot of gems or real money to get those dupes that are completely useless. I feel there should be some kind of monthly card pull. It's like a box of just random thrown in SR URs that you can kind of trade in and try and pull for a different SR UR.
Yes, that'd be so useful.
It'll still be a gacha based system, but you still have a chance of trading in a card that you have 4 or 5, 6 copies of, and get another card out of it that you may not have 3 of that could be useful.
Yeah, I agree. The conversion system currently is, in my opinion, absolutely trash. An absolute embarrassment.
Speaking of trades, do you actually think they were putting the trading in this game? I know there should be a consequence.
My next question was, trading is a staple part of this game. Do you think we will ever get to the point where they will ever let us do it?
I think trading could be implemented from day one. All they need to do is allow us to trade farmable free-to-play cards. I do not see any problem with that at all.
You know what I think they should do? If you're gonna trade cards that's in a boxes, say if it's a UR, there should be a consequence, because technically Konami is losing money out of that. If I'm gonna trade a UR, then technically I'm losing 250 gems, because Konami is not gonna allow us to just trade for free, because they're basically not gonna be making money. Make it as, a win-win situation for both of us, even though we're gonna hate losing gems since it's hard to come by. You trade somebody's UR for our UR or whatever, we losing 250 gems or 200 or 100 gems.
You want to know how you want to know how Konami can make money and still make all cards in the game tradable? Check this idea out. You put up you create some kind of marketplace, some kind of shop, and players can put their SRs and URs up for sale, or up for trade rather, and you can trade them for gems only, thus creating a new sale package for just gems, which a lot of whale players, of course, will jump in, buy up a lot of gem packages, and go buy the cards from other users. So not only do the free-to-play users now have an opportunity to be able to get gems from users for cards that they don't need extras of, you now are creating another path for whales to invest in cards that they want right now, and they're going to buy them because they got a flat rate price and they can go get the cards they want right now without going into the boxes. So basically, free-to-players will be more jumping into boxes to get cards so they can then trade for gems, while the whales are jumping in and buying up all the gem packages, making Konami a ton of money. And the game will still be more balanced because now everybody's kind of getting a little piece of the pie. The free-to-plays have now found a way to somehow compensate themselves with gems. The whales have a platform to get the cards that they want, and Konami's making money from people buying the gem packages. You know, it's a rough idea. We need a lot of, you know, ironing out, but it's definitely an option.
I was thinking more like a lines of, you know, like you can like put up like a card that you want. I mean, the card that you like have, and you put like a card that you want, and you can trade it like that. Card like a GTS system they have in Pokemon. Like Pokemon, you have like a Pokemon that you have up for you want to trade for, and the one you want to get, and they just trade like that. Just a rough idea. I know probably need some changing, but yeah, I'm just throwing curveballs.
Here's the only way they're actually probably ever let us do a trade, which I hate to say this, but I think it honestly in my heart, I think it's the only way they would do it, because the biggest thing that they're worried about is, hey, you know, if we can trade, somebody can just make a burner account, get the free gems for entry, and then trade to themselves. I think the only way they'll do it is if they did like some sort of stupid like $2.99 a month membership or something like that, where that's the only perk is that you can trade and do exclusives. That would be the only way they'll let you do it. To some way, if you have to make a burner account, at least you have to pay for the burner account to be able to trade.
Unless you do a level cap, in order to trade, you gotta be a level 40, 45 or something high that you have to grind out the game, and you know nobody's gonna grind out 2 parts of the game like in an iPad or a phone. Like you gotta be a higher level to trade.
How about this for an idea? How about you can only trade cards that are from a selection box?
Ooh, I like that. I do. I love that. That's a great idea.
Genius. Absolutely genius.
Look, Konami,
Yes.
if you're watching this video, I think you've got your board of directors right here. We're ready. Just give us the job.
Give us the job, man. Help fix your game.
Yep, they could do that. They could just make selection box cards tradable. There you go.
Honestly, I feel like the best chance is that they have to go towards a more cosmetic route. You know, potentially allow you to actually. Always, we show players buying a starter deck 150 times to get a fucking prismatic. So I mean.
There's like
just make the actual card packs cheaper. Well, you know, allow whales the option to actually just make a card prismatic. You know, hell, let them fucking pay $10 or $20 to make a card prismatic. That's how they want to waste the money. Let them do it. You know.
You know, one thing I would actually pay. The one thing I would pay for that, because I would pay. I wish they'd put some more freaking voice lines. I would pay literally for a voice line pack just because I like hearing the custom voice lines the voice actors do their stuff. There was like a thing where get exclusive Yugioh voice lines for $1, $1.50. I would totally buy.
I remember talking to Impact about this a while back. Like, how come we can't? If eventually we ever get a create your own character, allow you to actually buy your own voice lines. Like you actually can they occasionally keep adding them in. You buy those in. So or like even the insect. Well, right now we have like cards like Vampire Lord or all these other characters. Why not give you the option to buy this? So all right, so say if you're using Yugi, use some of Duel Dragon, the actual animation for Duel Links will play. You know, there's a lot of these cards that like these animations will never see use because those decks are meta for other characters. You know.
I don't understand why we never did have our own custom creatable character. I just felt like that's a big thing nowadays in gaming to be able to create your own character. Yeah. That's
a walking cash cow.
Yeah, like the cool thing is like you can make your own summoning chant like for like your favorite monster. Like I don't think like you can make your own voices if you want to, like you just said, but like clustering stars and yada yada yada. I summon I don't know, like Winged Karibo, something like that.
I would so enjoy that.
Another idea that I had for cards was somewhat of I call it a destiny shop or something, where you use gold, you use a lot of gold or whatever. We're trying to make gold useful here. Where you use a lot of gold, and depending and it spins kind of like a lottery type of thing, or some of slots, or whatever game you want to put it. And you have a chance to earn SR and UR fragments, which if you get enough SR UR fragments, you can then trade them in for an SR or UR from a box.
Yeah, that sounds really cool because
Yeah,
I
good
even
idea.
have a...
Gives you a reason to
Yeah,
use your gold.
Cause I have like a
it-
billion gold. Like I'm not even kidding. Like I just have them sitting there. Like
I mean,
when I first completed Duel Links, I said like, what do I use gold for? Like I'm just earning this thing. Like, oh, there's a card trader. Well, like, these cards suck.
if you think about it, we already have a lottery system. They already have a lotto system in a lot of the events. Why not use the same type of lotto system, but instead of us using coins, we can use gold? And some of the rewards you can get are SR jewels, UR jewels, SR or UR card fragments, gems, and stuff like that. Then we have a reason to use up all of our gold besides just turning cards into a prismatic. And let's be honest, it's almost 2019, and we're not really farming half the time anymore. We're just auto-dueling at these events.
I would like
maybe-
to change, but we all know like Konami would be like, you see how they did the actual prismatic card upgrade with the 900 gems.
Oh my.
You know it'd be like fucking 1 million gold just for like five or 10 packs.
Or unless maybe like once per, they do like a cap once per week. We could use like 10,000 or 100,000 gold, and we get vagrants, but we only could do that once a week rather than
Oh
unlimited
my
of-
god. Being able to buy vagrants right now with gold would be absolutely amazing.
I feel like they should do, but I feel like they should do a cap, like either 1 or 2 times a week.
Like that,
'Cause
even
then
that
people
would
will
be
have it. We
fine.
got over 1 billion.
Because I just feel like we have gold in a game where in most games when you're using a dual currency, you have your premium currency and then you have your in-game currency, which in this case would be gold. It's still highly in demand for what you'd use it for. But in Duel Links, it feels like you just get gold and then you get more gold and then you get more gold and it just sits there.
Yeah, like Scrooge McDuck.
It's like I have a currency that I can't use.
Just swimming in gold. Got nothing to spend it on. That's sad.
It's like you're King Midas, but you're living on Mars. And all the gold you have, it doesn't matter. It's just like...
Do you think we ever gonna get 30 cards or 35 card decks? Like set the cap?
I would love the minimum to be 30 cards because I feel like decks that are super, super consistent would not be as consistent. And it would force a lot of players to think a little bit creative and actually put in some additional Tekken cards, making decks a little bit less copy-paste. So,
Like some like, anti-meta tech cards.
if everybody was running a 30-card deck, everybody's deck wouldn't look the same. Because now you have the 20-card core deck with 10 additional cards that people are playing around with, whatever that they prefer. And I feel like the meta would just be a lot more healthier, having more diversity than just the same 3-4 copy-paste decks that we see.
Right, like that one video the TCG player did, right? Where like you look at it, everybody's deck has, it's either there's 3 or 4 key cards. That same card is used 2 or 3 times in that same deck. Like you might have like 3 or 4 unique monsters, and that's it.
Right? It's just imagine think when Fur Hires came out and Sylvans came out, both those decks literally had the same exact cards, the same exact 20 cards in every deck that you saw.
Like when I go against like any other like archetype, I actually like value a lot of like change around it. But if I see like something like Flyers, I exactly know what they're gonna do. They're just gonna summon like a small boy, like then they summon another boy, destroy your stuff, summon the big boy, attack for game.
It's just not a healthy meta when you literally play against a player that's using a skill that you already know they're using because only that skill can be used with that character. And it's like, all right, so now you already know what deck they're using, And if you do not have the deck to counter it or any cards to kind of match up with it, you just click surrender. Or if the coin toss rolls the wrong, it flips the wrong way, you surrender. I just don't think a game is healthy when players are quitting before you even try.
Yeah, like Zane Cyberstyle is like absolutely busted.
I know this ain't a popular decision, but I've actually been a fan of just eliminating skills altogether. And before people go crazy, I'll tell you why. Konami has a history now in this game that they've developed of nerfing every single popular skill in the game. So at some point down the road, every skill that we used to always enjoy playing will be nerfed.
You know, so like the really terrible ones.
While all the terrible ones will be left to be used or not used.
You know what? Even though it's gonna be harder, what they could do is like how you used to do with your tournaments. You'd set 2 to 3 decks in ranked PvP, and you only could use that deck 5 or 10 wins at a time. Like you only could get 5 wins, and then after that you have to switch out your deck no matter what.
You're encouraging the entire player base to dump in hundreds of dollars every month and to have like so many fucking types of decks.
But it's rather than I'd rather have that. Well, not that, but I have obviously something different. Like cause constantly seeing for hires or Sylvans, like something different. Knowing that you know what, if they get 5 wins with Sylvans, they're screwed. They gotta use a different deck, and they can't get back to that.
I just don't see how you could actually implement that in the game.
How about this for ranked PvP? Let me see what you guys think about this. Maybe this doesn't have to be ranked PvP, but another form of PvP. What if you go into PvP, and when you go into the PvP, it'll be a menu, and it will ask you to choose 2 decks. You choose those 2 decks, and those decks are locked in at that point. And then it'll search for you a match. You now got to play that player in a best of 3. And if you win, you rank up.
So,
yeah, I like that, because, like, you know, like in TCG, you play best of 3, but, you know, I don't want to grind.
If we had a different rank format, that would be okay. But I think as far as Duel Links and mobile games, you want is like quick and go. You pick it like easy and like you want these rounds to last no more than 5 minutes, right? That's the typical duel for Duel Links supposed to take. It'll be 5 minutes, right? It should be over. And you get
well, what I'm saying is I'm basically taking the old you got to win 3 or 4 in a row to rank up into a now you just got to win 1 best to a 3 to rank up. So so essentially you're saving more time doing it this way, but it's also adding versatility because now every player you play is also forced to run 2 different decks, just like you. So it feels like it's a more competitive environment, more strategy and skills involved, but you don't have to win 3, 4 in a row to rank up. Now you just have to basically just win the match. So it feels more like an actual competition, a competitive environment than just nonsense, no lifing, win as much as you can so you finally grind out a rank.
Well, we know the system needs to be changed. I just don't know. Like, I really don't agree with the win the best out of 3. Like Duel Links, fast paced games. But we all know like, the whole win 4 and lose 1. It needs to change. We all know that it needs to go with some kind of percentage base. Like if you hit a best out of 5, if you win 3 of your games, you should rank up. There should be not I won 4 and lost once I don't rank up.
If
I don't know.
I was gonna say if Konami kept the same rank system we have now, but they added one more thing to it, it'd be fine with me. And that is simply once you achieve a new rank, you don't derank from that rank. So if you get to Plat 2, you'll never go beyond Plat 2. If you go to 3, you'll never go below 3, etc., etc. So if you get to Legend 3, you can never go backwards. You can only go one way, and that's up. That way, it's still encouraging you to win, but they're not punishing you so bad for a loss.
I don't know where you guys live, and you know I don't want to offend anybody, but I would like Konami to allow us to pick a way in rank PvP or either KT Cup to face people only in our region, because you know, especially in KT Cup when I'm trying to rank up and then I'm facing somebody from Japan. If I check my rank PvP list, I faced over like $3,000 in Japan and like 1,000 in America, and it's like mind-boggling. And it's like, if they're not gonna do that in ranked PvP, I would like to see that in KC Cup. Like, you know what? I'm gonna be facing people in my region to get to the top, rather than facing everybody all around the world.
See, the
I don't
fun,
know if they can ever
the
implement that, but
the funny thing about that is I've said that before, and people always argue with me. I'm like, the player base is really not as big as people think, and they're like, you're full of
Right.
shit. I'm like,
Yeah,
bro,
exactly.
if we were not playing Japanese players, you would really see just how small this player base really is. Because I always tell people, go back and look at your last 10 duels. I bet you more than 50% of those duels were Japanese players.
Right, and not even that. If it was like another country, not even the United States, like a smaller other country, like
Mm-hmm.
you know, it would be even worse for them. You know.
Mm-hmm. Because people would be actually sitting in there for 30 seconds to a minute actually trying to find a match.
If not longer than that, dude. Like,
Because
games
there'd
like
be no
League
Japanese
Legends,
players. Yep.
How
It-
some of these players like towards the higher rank, like Master League. And
I mean,
somewhere-
I understand that Yu-Gi-Oh is probably at its peak in Japan outside of any other country, but
Right.
but when you're talking a global game and one country outnumbers the rest of the world in their player base 10-1, there's a problem. It's 10-1 Japan to any other country in the world per duel. Like, that is just astronomically, like, wow. It's crazy. I mean, Japan is outnumbering 10-1 against North America, all of Europe. I mean, those are two big player bases in the world, and even Brazil, for example, it's just like, that is insane when it's 10-1 the ratio of what you're gonna play. Like, that's just insanity.
Yeah, it's sad because it makes people feel like they don't want to be dueled against because they take so long to try and get people to play against them, and
Well,
it really lowers their self-esteem.
It also makes me feel like we have a lot of these abundancies of DC errors because you're always trying to connect with somebody from Japan, and if you're in North America, that's a long distance connection, and depending on the server quality, which we're talking about Konami here, there could be a problem.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like
Right. So when
I've
5D's
never
releases, what
disconnected,
are
but
we
I
actually
think it
expecting
disconnect.
for the game? It's just something the exact same as GX, right? We're just getting 4 or 5 new characters. I saw actually where the character rewards for level up is going to be capped at 30 at start. Is that actually like what I'm hearing about?
All right, say it again.
Yes.
I missed it. What'd you say?
So, alright, so when 5D's releases, what are we actually expecting? It's going to be the exact same as GX. I heard that the actual level cap for these characters when they first release are going to it's not even 45, it's going to be 30.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 30, and so far we only know of 3 rewards. We're getting 1 copy of Junk Warrior, 1,000 gems, and a Dream Ticket. So
Right, but as far as they haven't announced anything else changing the game. It's
No,
just the exact
no.
same thing,
wait,
right?
one time
No.
To be fair, they haven't announced most things. It's mostly been data mines.
they
Yeah, so I was-
wait, but
yeah, they haven't
Why do you
announced any
like-
changes.
okay, so no
why
kind of
do you-
new game modes or nothing at all. It's just it's just a fucking band-aid then. It's just gonna the player base is gonna boom for a few months and it's gonna fucking go back to the same shit it is right now.
Well,
so 5D's is only releasing 1,000 gems, while when GX last year, even though technically it was like half a year, 9 months in, we got 2,500 to maybe close to 5,000. Because remember we had that scratch off Mokuba lottery at that same time as well.
We also
It was
had
like,
we also had the lifetime login rewards for how many days you've logged in, up to 300 days.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Yeah, we had a lot of that stuff going on, and so far from what we've seen with, I hate to say it, but if you take into respect what we're getting from 5Ds that we know of, now this is saying what we know of. There could be more stuff, but from what we know of that we are indeed getting on the 25th, the game is not actually improving. It's staying the same, if not worse, because now Konami's saying, hey, we're not making any improvements to the game. We're just going to give you 5 new characters that are going to have a level cap of only 30 instead of 45, so you're already missing out on gems. So right there, that's already a negative right off the bat. We're giving you less rewards than we did with 5Ds, which is another negative. And then the fact that synchros are going to be coming with a main box after we already just had a main box, which would be the first time they've ever done that, which is another negative. And that's if they're not including an ace monster in a box, which would be another negative. So it's like I'm not seeing much of any positives. As much as I would love to see some positives, I'm just not seeing any. If you're comparing the release of 5Ds to the release of GX, GX was so much better. But even then, that didn't really fix the game. And 5Ds is coming out doing the same thing, if not worse. So it's like we're not getting any improvements.
Everybody was waiting for 5Ds that was gonna save this game. Obviously, we don't see the full rewards what we're getting or how it might change the game. But if it is true that we're only getting 1,000 gems and then level cap at the moment is 30, you think people get more frustrated? Like, Jesus, our last hope to cling on to this game was 5Ds. Hopefully, they'll change this game for the better, which in early stages now, before the game release, is not. Do you think is going to drive more people away? Like, Jesus, this last cling of hope, and now technically it got worse? Technically, like what I said before, last year we got 2,500 to 5,000 gems in that GX release. So if
I've come to the realization that Duel Links will survive until the game gets to the point where it's going to be whale versus whale, and the whales get tired of playing each other. I think the game will survive till that point. That could be another year, another 2 years. Who knows? It really is all going to depend how many people are out there whaling out. And even in our own Discord, we've had people showing images where they've went into the EX structure deck, literally farming for 3 prismatic copies of Silent Magician, going into that box 40, 50, 60 times. People like that exist in the game won't go anywhere no matter how bad it gets for the casuals, until it literally becomes whales versus whales. And then at that point, that's when the game will start to decline. But as long as they got a healthy player base of people that's willing to go in and spend their life savings on this game, it's just going to continue to be the same. And it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Those players are hardcore collectors. I understand where they're coming from. But at the end of the day, it's not like collecting a real card. You're collecting fancy-looking JPEGs that have no value outside of the game. Zero value. Every dollar that you put into Duel Links, that's every dollar that you've lost forever. You're never getting that value back. The only value you get from a game is enjoyment, but when they're taking the enjoyment away, now whatever value you did have in a game is now gone. And
that enjoyment is like 2 weeks, because technically once a new deck or a new box set released, technically that meta gets phased out. So technically you're going to be wasting $50 to $100 for maybe a month and a half joy, because then after that everything's gonna be phased out. And
here's the thing about games. I have no problem with people spending a lot of money in a game, but if you're going to spend money in a game, at the very least, for what I'm asking from Konami is, if I spend $10, $20, $100, I expect to get $10, $20, $100 worth of enjoyment. And
yeah, I agree.
And without these changes in this game, you're not getting that enjoyment. All you're getting is just a card that may or may not even see play, or has a very short lifespan because it'll get power crept. And unlike the real life game, TCG, you could buy those cards and resell them. You can collect them and pass them down to your kids if their value will only go up if you keep them in good condition. You can't do any of that in a mobile game, or any game for that matter, because it's just a digital product. It has no value. So when you spend money on a game, at the very least, what you're trying to get out of it is just enjoyment. That's basically your value back for what you spent. And if the game's not doing that, then, things need to be changed. But like I said, as long as Konami got those mega whales coming into the game, spending that kind of money chasing prismatics of UR and SRs, they're not going to change anything, because those players are actually not directly causing the problem, but they are indirectly causing it. Because Konami's looking at their bank account and they're saying, wow, we're making more money than ever. Let's just keep doing the same thing we're doing now. It's working. Because from Konami's perspective, they're a business first, game company second. So if their money is still coming in, they feel personally that they need to make no changes. And if you worked for Konami, would you make changes? Would you go out of your way to make the game better if you're still making the money that you expect? No, you wouldn't. And that's unfortunately where we're all getting the shit end of the stick.
Yeah, I just want Duel Links to be fun, because when I first heard Duel Links, I was a big anime fan. I heard you can play your favorite anime characters. I really like Tag Force, with all the summoning animations. So I want to get into that. When I first got competitive, it was really fun. destroying people in basically like that, but now it's just not, you know, really enjoyable anymore. Like when I heard 5D was coming, like one of my favorite animes ever, I was like really getting hyped to see all the characters and all that stuff. But, you know, it's like seeing like, you know, kind of like Konami's like scummy business practices. It just like takes the joy right out of you. And absolutely love Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm very passionate for it, and like to see like one of my favorite like mobile games like just absolutely get like demolished by like their greed. It's just a terrible sight to see.
Just saw someone in your chat bring up Necro Valley. Holy shit! I can't believe that fucking card's not in the game still for fucking players.
Like,
oh Jesus Christ!
Necro Valley would be a great addition to Gravekeepers. They would make that deck really, really nice. I mean, and you couldn't even make the argument that it would be broken because everybody with their last stream ticket and with the new one we're getting, everybody in the game theoretically could have 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. So you have a way to deal with Necro Valley just by default. So it's like it's not like it'd be a broken card to run, honestly, at all. It'd be a good card to run, but it would not be broken. And Treacherous Trap Hole, it is a broken card, and Konami has no problem with that being in the game. So why is Necro Valley still sitting on the bench? Why can't we use Necro Valley? Why, you know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I know why we can't use Amazona's Village, because that deck is already busted enough thanks to Onslaught for the moment.
You see, like Mai, if you play against Mai at like level 30, she had like that field spell, and oh my god.
One question. I know it's hard to fathom the grind, but do you think we're ever gonna get level 50 cap?
I think they will hit 50, and honestly, I think they'll go up clear up to 60 now that they actually have 60s in the Duel World. And that's a scary thought to think about, because I'm sitting there thinking about, imagine this game coming from a new player, all right? Let's take an example. Let's take a Dokkan Battle, all right? Dokkan Battle, you can get to endgame in about a month, no matter when you start. You can go in, get to endgame. You come into Duel Links, and you're a new player, you're not getting endgame. You're not getting anywhere near endgame for at least a year and a half minimum. And that's if you go in 6-7 hours a day. Because you have to farm up every character's level to 40, 45. I guess you could go the Vagrant route, but you better have a good fucking job and a lot of loose money laying around, because that is going to take a lot of money to afford to level up all your characters 45 with Vagrants. And then there's a lot of the events that you're going to miss to unlock characters. You have to wait for those events to come back, or you have to wait for them to be at the gate. And if you think about it, the fact that we're still only getting 500 EXP for a win, it's just it's mind-boggling. We should be getting way more than that. And we're getting
level 60.
That's really nothing. That's just like so little.
We're getting
level 60 is the grind of hell. Whoever that's crazy.
If they ever push the games, if they ever push the characters all to 50, 55, and 60, people have to understand that it takes 40,000 EXP to get from 40 to 41, 42 to 43, and all the way to 45. Imagine when we get 46 to 50, it'll probably take 50,000 EXP per level, times by like, what, 30-some characters? Just think about that grind, guys. That is just, it's ridiculous. It's beyond mind-boggling. It's kind of makes you feel, it makes you tired thinking about it.
Yeah, because like I don't like doing a lot of work for like no payoff, and I have a lot of characters in Duel Links I haven't even touched yet. So if you tell me like to level up all characters level 50, that's it.
Yo, thank Crystal for the $2 donation. Earthbound Immortals are confirmed broken.
Yeah, because you only have 4,000 life points. Just attack directly. Don't care. The only thing about it is like then you have field spells, but I think Hardened Armed Dragon's in the game, which if it's used for tribute summoning, you know, that monster's immune to destruction effects, so, you know, it can't be destroyed, so, yeah, there's that.
It's just like, 4,000 life points just ain't enough anymore. I mean, I was going to make a video about this, but then I just didn't get to it, but it's funny to say this, but Duel Links right now, and I know a lot of people is going to be confused what I'm trying to say, but Duel Links right now cannot get any more broken in terms of the cards we bring into the game. It cannot get no more broken. Because like we said earlier in the podcast, you're already losing the duel by turn 2 or already by a coin toss. You cannot get any faster than that. unless it's an FTK, which I don't think FTKs will ever be around in Duel Links. I think Konami will hit those immediately. But so if you take this into consideration compared to the TCG, how fast and all the crazy cards they can summon like 10, 15 times in one turn, thanks to pendulums and exceed summons and all that good stuff.
Oh my God, I want to talk about that.
You're still talking about losing on turn 2. You cannot lose a duel any faster than that. That's the fastest that you can take an opponent out, and a majority of the meta right now is turn 2. Or of course a coin toss. If you know for a fact, thanks to the skill and the character that you're going up against, and you know your deck isn't equipped to handle it, you're gonna either just immediately click surrender, or you're gonna click surrender if you don't get the right coin toss, or you're gonna lose by turn 2. And you just cannot lose any faster than that. So the game, no matter what broken cards come to Duel Links from here on out, we've already hit critical mass. We've already hit maximum velocity when it comes to how fast you can lose in this game. So
yeah, do you think there should be like more life points? Like how much do you think there should be like life points so the game could be like less broken? I know it's still gonna be in shambles, but a less broken game is better than like a really broken game.
This is what I've been thinking, okay? So Konami wanted to make Duel Links run about half is like the TCG. 8,000 life points down to 4,000, okay? You guys are with me there, right? We went from 8,000 to 4,000. And then we went from minimum 40 card deck in the TCG to a minimum of 20 cards in Duel Links. You guys are all still with me with that, right?
Yeah.
So check this out. Every card in Duel Links needs to be hard limited to two copies you can run a deck instead of 3.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can run 3 of every card in TCG, but you can only run 2 of every card or less in Duel Links. What do you guys think about that? Wouldn't that not like really take care of a lot of the problems that we've had in Duel Links with the low life points, with the low card minimums, just to make every card a hard, 2 or less?
Change a lot of things, but I just don't like. You have to use say, well, I mean, all Blue Eyes isn't fucking meta at all, but just we just went 30 or 40 card decks, we wouldn't have this issue.
Yeah, if we went to 30 card, I think a lot of our problems in this game would be resolved with just a simple fix of making everyone go to 30.
Yeah, because the thing about it is like monsters, it's interesting how you said they have everything, the life points and the all the other stuff, but basically the cards themselves are the same as the TCG. I think a couple cards like magical hats have been like changed to fit Duel Links, the 3 card limit, but basically 95% of these cards are basically the same way they work mechanically in the TCG. And then I know it's kind of weird to compare the TCG to Duel Links, but they basically run the same way. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think a safe, if they're not going to do anything with the cards, they're not going to do anything with skills. I think maybe the best thing they should do is just go to, let's compromise. Let's hit a middle ground here. Let's go 6,000 life points and just stay there.
Somebody brought up in your comment about stall, but if we had 30 or 40 card decks, isn't it after turn 50 the game isn't a draw, right?
Yeah. It's a stall.
So
I feel like
stall would die completely.
Stall would, if we ran 30 cards, stall would be dead for the most part. Burn would exist, but I think stall and mill would be dead.
The only mill, mill could I guess might still be around, but it's not gonna be very successful. So it's gonna be a lot harder to pull off.
And if
very consistent.
And if we go to 30 cards, it'll kind of inherently nerf a grass is greener, which, by the way, if you guys don't know, what some of the metas we have not got yet are still to come, grass is greener would be a problem if we stay at 20 card minimum and people are running 30 card decks. Grass is greener could be a disgusting card. So if everyone is running 30, that card would be kind of pretty much obsolete.
Yeah, because the thing is banning the TCG, all these degenerate loops and all that stuff like that.
Getting a lot of your resources in a grave, and then a lot of decks that resolve around using cards from the grave is just, it'd be nasty.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, you're less likely to get what you want.
Pink Puff Doctor, we've talked about this a million times in the past. Pink Puff Doctor says, what about Duel Links exclusive cards or archetypes? I feel that that's the route Duel Links should have went from day one.
Yeah, because there's a lot of cards that in this TV series that hasn't come out yet. Like, you know, Gate Guardian actually has another card for it in like the actual anime. We got it for the card for Chaz, right? There's a
Yeah,
lot of
like
cards we haven't gotten.
Mandala.
Huh?
Yeah, Ojama Mandala.
Yeah.
Rohan.
So there's Raphael has a card and it hasn't came out in TCG yet, I believe.
I think it's like that one thing where you like we would move Eclipse around.
Right.
The Guardian Eclipse.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, it's like it's a win-win for everybody, because if you want TCG players to convert or to start picking up Duel Links, what better way to entice them to come play than to say, hey, we have an archetype that's only in Duel Links. You cannot play this archetype anywhere else.
Turbo did this, right? So why can't we do it in Duel Links?
They're gonna definitely want to jump into Duel Links to play an archetype that they'll never get to play otherwise. It was just,
and then maybe they might put it in TCG. Maybe an interesting and creative concept. Like Konami is I think I don't like about Konami is they have all these creative things, make all these interesting events, all these interesting things, archetypes, all that stuff, but they don't do anything with them.
do you think unnerfed Cyber Angels would destroy the current meta? No, Rohan. They could put Cyber Angels back to full power right now. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's just way too many cards right now for them to be able to handle. I mean, their graveyard protection is basically all they'd have.
I mean, look at, say, Wisdom and Field. I mean...
Yeah, GG.
I mean...
Wisdom on the field would be an issue. Vampires would probably be an issue. You have Yubel with Phoenix that don't even really need a monster in the field because you're playing everything from the grave or from the hand with Karibo. So it's like... Yeah, man, I don't.
I'm sure we're getting Obelisk on Kaiba's.
We also have a card right now that just completely cucks Cyber Angels, which is Draining Mirror Force. Draining Mirror Force would just completely annihilate Cyber Angels.
Drowning Mirror.
Yeah, drowning. I don't know why I said draining. Yeah, Drowning Mirror Force would just completely cuck Cyber Angels.
Yeah, clip their wings.
So, I mean, Cyber Angels could go back to full power. I mean, people would just be running a lot of tech in back row, and that'd be all there is to it.
Yeah, GG. Yeah, so there's something interesting I want to talk about. There's synchros are coming out. What do you think how Exceeds and Pendulums will affect the metagame?
I think Exceeds, there's room for that. I think we can go up to Zexal and Duel Links, but I don't think we'll ever hit Arc 5 because Pendulums, I just don't see them working with a three back row. Because you're going to need the left and right for Pendulum Zone, and then you're basically essentially working with one back row spot.
Yeah, because they're not going to put it in the sides because the Link era kind of fixed that because Pendulums are pretty broke.
Now Links, they could be in the game too. All they got to do is just add one more additional zone at the front maybe. But again, it'd be kind of tough though, even with Links, because Links have a lot of things that you do to incorporate combos with Links. You got to be on their arrow, and with only having 3 zones, that'd be really tough to get all of the combos off with a Link. They'd have to definitely do something with that as well. That's why I said that I feel like 5D's might be the last series that we dive into with Duel Links. If they ever go any further, I think they'd probably just make Duel Links 2.0. Or a new game to replace Duel Links that'll have more the TCG format.
Yeah,
it's like I feel like if they took Duel Generations and they took Duel Links and put them together, there you go. That'd be the new game.
If they ever did that and it allow you transfer your data somehow, I just that'd be it for me.
Oh, Duel Links in Portrait Mode 2018 would be phenomenal, but unfortunately, I was hoping that they would do that with the Steam release, but. Nope, it looks like a mobile game on a computer.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a full screen. That'd be just beautiful, but nope, it never happened. Never happened. Arc 5 does have a lot of characters for Duel Links, is a plus side.
Yeah, you got Yugioh, you got basically all the.
I mean, I don't think characters are a problem. I mean, we're already getting ready to hit year 2, and there's still a lot of characters from the OG world that we don't even have yet. Still, plus GX. We still got to go with Yubel and Jaden fuse. We got to go Supreme King Jaden. We have some other villains from GX.
Don't
We have Hasselberry,
forget
Atticus,
like
Night Shroud.
Night Shroud.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget.
What's the one who played the Archfiends? There's the one guy who played the Archfiends with the mask.
Wasn't there Camula?
Like we can get stitches and stuff from OG. We got Noah. There's just still so many to go through. Young Merrick for the Gravekeeper support. Konami, come on.
Good God, how long ago has it been since fucking teased him, dude? Since fucking like the first Merrick event, right?
Yep. Yeah, Sartorius, that's right. Sartorius will be coming soon in Hasselberry. I was hoping that Atticus would have been the next GX characters because I want Red Eyes to be a thing again.
Yeah, Red Eyes. You know, like you think they're gonna release like Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon?
I think we'd get one copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal, and I would hope at least as a level up we'd get at least 1 or 2 copies of Red Eyes Baby Dragon, and maybe even retro Red Eyes. That'd be great.
Yeah, because like Red Eyes Dark Metal Dragon has an easy summoning condition. All you do is bash one dragon, summon it, fly for free 20 higher bodied, and then you just like spell summon any dragon from your hand or graveyard.
They could never give us Inferno Fire Blast though, because that would just be disgusting.
Oh my God.
It is really fucking
Basically, it's like an easy copy of thing of Exodia. Like have 2 copies in your hand, automatically win the game.
It'd be great.
You know, a lot of cards in the actual anime, except for like some card like Hinotama, some cards actually their effect damage was like reduced by half.
Well, what's so weird to me right now with Duel Links is there a lot of people still are asking, for one, why is Chance Vigilance still nerfed? Why is it still hit? And why is Harpy's Hunting Ground still nerfed? Neither of those things makes any sense to me right now at this current time in Duel Links.
Yeah, I feel like Konami doesn't really give a crap about the ban list. Like, there's like, what's the ban list for Duel Links? What is this thing you call a ban list?
It's like you nerf Harpy's Hunting Ground, and then you release Phoenix, which is arguably a better version of the deck.
Yeah, but destroying Onslaught is just too overpowered, guys. Come on.
And then you got Chance Vigilance. Even if we made a Red Eyes balanced deck again with Chance Vigilance, it wouldn't be as consistent as it was before, because now we can't run the 15-5 build. We have to run at least 6-6-6. And, that kind of makes the deck not as consistent, because now there's 3 other traps and 3 other spells that you could pull in your starting hand, unlike before. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know why those cards are still on the list, to be honest with you. Make Dark Magician great again. Dark Magician would be great if we got the food magicians.
I mean like Chocolate Magician Girl.
Yep.
All the the waifu food groups.
We do need more support for those OG cards and shit.
It's like if you want to push players to play a game for nostalgia, you need to make the OG archetypes decent. And let's be honest, Red Eyes with balance for a little while had its time to shine thanks to Chance Vigilance, but when they nerfed that, we had Red Eye Zombie, which really isn't, the nostalgia Red Eyes that we've come to know and love. That was kind of more of like, an alternative type of Red Eyes deck, which is more or less zombies. Yeah, and then Blue Eyes, for example. Blue Eyes, it never really had a chance in the meta. For a little while there, Blue Eyes was one of the best farm decks. With 3 Chance Vigilance, you could bring out Blue Eyes, and you had a really nice deck there. You could bring out Ultimate in the end with Vassal. Boom, you went for a game with Union Attack. That was a fan favorite farm deck, so at least it had some purpose in the game at some point. Even when Kaiba Man first came out, I think Blue Eyes was in the meta for like maybe a week, until people started realizing, oh, hey, we can counter this deck with an Econ. So it's like Blue Eyes never really even had an opportunity in a meta. And what really irritates me is the fact that Arcana has a skill for Dark Magician, but Yami Yugi doesn't. That just always bugged me. And
Arcana was like, the thing I don't like Arcana. I hate his face. I hate everything about him. I hate his Dark Magician. He only appeared in one episode of the anime.
And check this out. I could be wrong, but I could be wrong, but I don't even think Kaiba has an exclusive skill in the entire game anymore. Heavy Starter's no longer an exclusive skill. Beatdown's no longer an exclusive skill. Balance, Restart, all that's not exclusive. And all the Draw Sense skills are not exclusive. So, is Kaiba the only character in Duel Links that does not have an exclusive skill?
Seems like it.
Dude, maybe he has like a skill that like shuffles a card in his hand and adds like a Blue Eyes card or something. Like something fun.
Oh yeah, he has the Mountain Field spell. I guess that's true. But
that's too.
But it's a terrible skill though, I guess. That's true.
Twister, come on.
Yeah, it's a bad skill though. It's so bad that I forgot existed. My goodness.
Yeah, like Blue Eyes got a lot of support during the 5D's era. They got like a bunch of synchros and like, I think the White Star Legends was pretty good at one point. Yeah. You can use like one draw spell that discard like a tuner, and that has a graveyard effect, the tuner monster. So I think once 5D's come out, I think it'd be pretty cool if they get around like Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon and Blue Eyes Zerai.
Here's something. This is what they can do to redeem Kaiba. Kaiba's been seen in anime time and time again doing the similar thing. And on October 25th, Kaiba's birthday is here. And I feel that'll be the day that we get Obelisk. What if they made a skill where if you have 1,000 life points or less, you can just summon Obelisk to the field? Because remember, these skills are supposed to kind of be intertwined with how they perform those combos in the anime. And if you guys remember, Kaiba has a history of pulling Obelisk out of his ass.
Well,
yeah, because like in one episode of like Battlefield, he just like summons it out of nowhere.
Where like maybe if your life points got to 1,000 from an opponent's attack or effect damage, or you reduce damage you took from an opponent attack, maybe. I just don't think these skills were okay. Let me lower my life points by 3,000 so I can activate this skill. It's really balanced.
Yeah, that could be a problem because you could use something like Solemn Scolding, and then just activate it.
That's
and
what
then
I understand.
You just stop them summoning a monster,
right.
and you
so
summon
how,
Obelisk,
like,
and then
you
just
like how about Destiny Draw? In fact, let's say Destiny Draw wasn't once per duel, but it said if your opponent inflicted 2,000 points of damage to you, you could use a skill, and it wasn't once per duel. You can keep as long as your opponent kept doing damage to you. Rather than I use Call It Cyclone twice and now I can use less skill. It's really stupid.
Yeah. Before you actually had to work into the situation to get those skills off. Now you can just force it.
Exactly.
That's why Cyber Style is probably going to be nerfed at some point. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it will be. Cyber Style will probably get nerfed to where you can only summon one Proto for free. That's it for the entire duel. It'll probably be something like if you lose 2,000 or more life points, you can summon one Proto Cyber Dragon to your side of the field. That'll be what the skill will be, probably.
Yeah, way more balanced. Because I just use it for like, I just put it as 10 approach. I just summon Cyber Dragon for Pauline, and all these people are doing all their crazy comments like, what?
I mean, when I saw the level 4 increases were coming, I had so much hope that Kaiba was going to get one copy of Alternative Blue Eyes as his level 45. And then when I saw his reward, I was just like, damn, Konami, you couldn't even give that to Kaiba.
I'm surprised, alright, so with the Paradox Brothers, they got the skill that allows you to summon Gate Guardian, right? It would have been interesting if Kaiba got a skill like that with Blue Eyes, but you couldn't attack with them,
Right.
I mean, maybe that's the only way you can bring out Blue Eyes Shining Dragon, Tribute them off some Blue Eyes Shining Dragon, basically.
I mean, that would make sense. Or you can, you could have an ultimate on the field, but you can't attack with it. But if you draw into a Shining, you can bring Shining out. I mean, that seems fine with me, honestly. With the kind of back row that we have and the monster effects that we now have in the game, I feel like skills like that would not be broken, in comparison to everything else that's going on right now. I mean, Endless Trap Hell, I still cannot believe it did not get nerfed the last time we got nerfs. When I saw the beatdown was getting nerfed, I was like, okay, that's obvious. And I'm sitting there looking through. I'm like, okay, where's Endless Trap Hell? And I didn't see it. I was like, how the fuck did Endless Trap Hell avoid the nerf?
Yeah, that's why I freaking hate Odeon with a burning passion.
Endless trap house should be what it says it is. You get to grab one random trap from your graveyard, and one goes back to your deck. That's it. Not all of them. Because all you're essentially doing is allowing an Odium player to play the stall game. If they can stall out long enough and then trigger a big grab back of all their traps, they win and you deck out. It kind of makes me think, okay, if they nerfed extra because of that reason, they nerfed Ojama Go because of that reason, they nerfed Destiny Draw because of that reason, why did Endless Trap Hill become untouched? It just doesn't make any sense.
Because Konami.
True.
How about all you guys just stop playing the game? It's a brand new update coming and all you guys are complaining. Montana, I don't know if you've played Duel Links a long time, but oh my god.
Well, let's just get this art up there. Alright, so we're talking a lot of shit about the game because we want it to change, you know? Like, if we just fucking completely hated everything about it.
Well, honestly, this has been a very productive podcast, in my opinion. I think we've had a lot of good points spread around the board and a lot of good discussions. We didn't even go into any kind of ranting. We've all been basically discussing points that, you know, we've been talking about for a long time that the game could really benefit from. So
yeah, you guys are like one of the civilized like Yu-Gi-Oh players I've ever seen, to be honest.
But the thing I have to say about that, Montana, is if you don't bring up problems and talk about the problems will never go away. And if you just sit there and say, well, if you don't like the game, just quit. If everybody followed that advice, there would be no players in this game right now.
The entire world honestly would be fucked, you know, like there's...
When somebody says just because you don't like something just to stop, that makes me think, well, should I just stop living because I hate going to work every day?
Hey, look, check this out.
It's just improving air because like gas in it, very bad gas.
Well, in fact, point in case Battlefield, right? Hey, don't like it, don't play your game. So I mean,
well, it's just like the more you get mad and upset about something, that just shows that you have a passion for it and you want to see it succeed because it's something you enjoy. If it's the people who just don't care, that just accept everything, that are the people that I think don't really appreciate it or like it as much as they let on, because I don't feel like they care to see it succeed or see it have longevity. They just want to play it out until it dies. It's just like, I don't know, it's a real fine line that you're crossing, really, when it comes down to it. It's like, I would not dedicate so many hours to farming in this game and talking about this game and complaining about the game if I didn't want the game to succeed.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, that like one child you have, or, you know, I assume none of you have children, but you know, you want them to succeed. If you didn't criticize them and chastise them, that's like saying you don't love them.
Super Army says, you people are stupid. If you have issues with the game, then post it on the comments on their game. Making a podcast won't rectify anything. See, that's the thing, though, Super. We're not trying to rectify anything. We're not trying to make anything happen. We're simply here talking about our problems, what we want to see the game do. And if it happens, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. There's nothing that we can really do about it to change that. It's all down to Konami at the end of the day. But at least talking about it in an open forum like this is definitely something nice to do, because it's good when you have other people that share similar views of something that you enjoy playing.
And the thing is, we don't even get feedback from Konami, because you remember, like, a couple months ago, maybe the guy's still doing it. You remember he was technically cheating the game, saying he was cheating, and he was even letting people know, hey, I'm cheating, and Konami still hasn't banned me yet. And it's like, what's the purpose of even messaging Konami?
Yep, it's true. Yeah, at the end of the day, Konami is the one that has all the cards. You know, they can do what they want to do, and we're just gonna have to either deal with it or the alternative, which of course would be quitting.
How many people are actually like working on this game though? Like, I'm curious to see like actually how many people are actually working on the game and helping it.
Going from game development experience that I've had, this game probably doesn't have that big of a development staff, because the majority of this game was already developed in early stages. This is really not a high budget game. For one, it's mobile. For one, they use Unity 3D for most of their frameworking, the networking and stuff like that. So a lot of the hard stuff was taken out. So they would have to bring in a few people to do custom scripts using C#. I'm probably speaking Chinese to a lot of you right now, so bear with me. So they would need to bring somebody in to code in either C# or JavaScript using Unity to do custom animation stuff like that in the game. They would need to bring in an artist to do all the card art, which is mostly already just going to be reused anyway, so they probably didn't really use anybody for that. Those are more or less reused assets. The animations, of course, they would need an animator for that. They would need somebody to come in there and manage the networking. They would need, public relations, which is probably just all kind of absolved within their entire company. So the people you're talking to for Duel Links customer service could be the same people you would talk to if you're playing the TCG or buying any other like console game from Konami. I'm not too sure on how they handle their departments, but about a $50,000 to $100,000 budget, you could probably build this game. The updates that come every couple weeks to a month, they were going to need somebody to manage that. So, long story short, they probably have a good maybe 20, 30 people that actually, work full time on this game on a weekly basis. And
20.
So it's not really.
I feel like I see.
I think honestly it fluctuates. I think when the game first came out, the huge popularity, they probably hire a lot more people. And after a while, they probably because the game's starting to stagger out a little bit now, they probably put back some.
Well, if Konami's if Konami's using third-party freelancers to come in and just do the updates and stuff like that, then their team's even smaller. And I forget where it was I read. Konami's making about 35 to 40 grand on a daily average, and that's in USD.
Wow.
So the game's making back what it costs to develop it, literally every couple days. So they're making massive profit off of Duel Links, but we're not seeing them put that money back into the product. If you're running a business, a lot of people, if you're running like a small business, there's a few steps that you take. You need to have money to be able to pay for insurance for your company in case anything happens. You got to have overhead for your expenses or costly things that you may not expect to have that you may have to pay for. You're gonna need money for your employees. If you're an employee of yourself or you have other employees, you're gonna need money for that to pay your weekly salary, and then you're gonna need to have additional money to put back into your business to keep it going, growing, and expanding. And I feel like that's the one step that Konami keeps skipping. They're not putting that money back into the product to make it a quality product for us. They're literally just rehashing over and over and over again to buy time to keep milking the game out, which, I mean, if they're still making money, then they don't really have a reason to change, and that's just unfortunate for all of us.
Oh, I'm sure they're gonna make changes. I feel like this game is continuously to go downhill. I'm sure they're gonna see that and fix it. There's only two options. Either they fix this game or they do what they usually do and they create a new game, which I hope is not the case. But I hope they continue to fix it, even if it's like small improvements.
I doubt they're gonna fix it to the better, because you remember, Josh, like April, May, when you kind of like quit this game for like a week or so, and then you came back and then you saw the gem count increasing. We were getting better rewards. It was like, oh shit, maybe Konami's changing for the better, but you still kept on having in the back of your mind, oh, maybe this is like the worst to come because they're gonna change the game to the worst, and they actually did, because we started getting less gem count. It was all rules, because you remember back-to-back selection boxes, and it's like, I actually don't think the game is gonna change, because it's like, why we didn't get no story mode? They're making countless money, and we're still getting the same damn ways to get cards, and it's like, it's just annoying. Like, I want something different. I'm tired of seeing like the same 3 to 4 ways to get either a new character or new cards. I just want to see diversity. I just want to see something different. Even if it's something that's simple, at least I will know they're trying to change it for the better.
Yeah, even with something little. Well, that's what they should hire us, and we should come over there and start helping them.
When I
private jet and forwarded
when I look at Duel Links, it brings me to one. The only explanation I can give for Duel Links is to me, it's like Swiss cheese. It's delicious, but it has a lot of holes in it. Like that's what Duel Links. Like if you wanna give it an analogy, you just consider Duel Links Swiss cheese. It's good, but it has a lot of holes in it.
Yeah, but they can be filled up.
Well, it's all about communication. Like,
yeah, if they
you
just
can
take the
tell them.
time to, you know, just think about and just work on it, I think they can make this game like truly like a truly special thing, instead of just seeing it as like just a cash cow.
Well, we have a lot. It's a very passionate community because there's not many outlets to be able to play this game, and since there's such a passionate community for this, any little change goes a long way. Like think about the TCG. Like just a small, few changes to the ban list makes a huge difference, and everyone's like hype about it. I think just a few changes to this game over time will continue to improve it.
Konami cuts back on the amount of grind we need by increasing EXP, bump the cards up from 20 to 30, actually start utilizing the ban and limited list, actually put some cards on the ban list, have some balls, Konami, and actually nerf some UR and SRs from a box set. If you got to give people dream tickets to make up for compensation, then do it. I mean, I feel like I don't know if you guys watch DZ. He's a Yu-Gi tuber. I was watching his video that he kind of did this similar thing a couple of days ago. I think his video was like a 47-minute long video, and one of his points that he made was Konami needs to have the balls to start limiting and semi-limiting SR and URs from a box. And I feel like Konami's afraid to do that because they're going to get like some straight-up backlash. But there's a simple solution for that. Give the players that have those cards a dream ticket. That's all you have to do, and I feel like that's fair compensation for making the game balanced and better for everyone.
That's just really weird. I mean, like, I know Japanese players are really fucking finicky when it comes to, like, balancing issues and shit. But to, like, never expect that, oh, they won't touch super rare or ultra rares. I mean, all that spent money is really fucking retarded.
And here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing for everybody listening. Konami's lack of touching SRs and URs from a box is going to come back and bite them in the ass. Because if they ever release Grapha for Dark Worlds, what are you going to do? How are you going to nerf it?
They're going to nerf the other cards, I guess.
The whole deck is UR and SRs from a box. It's like, what are they going to do? It's like, I don't know, man. They definitely need to do something with that.
Well, I think it's a two-way miss. I think we got to do something. I know that you mentioned about the trading system anime, and how that can kind of be solved, almost like if anyone here plays like Forza, like you kind of put your cards in like a sort of like an auction environment. I mean, that would kind of help that. Say a card gets banned, so it becomes useless. You can put in that auction and sell it off to other people.
Definitely a lot of things that they could do to make the game just better. And it's not hard things. It's things that they could do overnight. Things that they could just changes they could do right now. I mean, a lot of these, it's so bad.
Login bonuses.
From a programming standpoint of how they designed the game, literally in the time that we've done this podcast, which has been about 2 hours, they could have changed about 3 or 4 of those problems that we've had for the past 2 years, and then said, "Oh, guys."
I want to know who comes up with these awards. Just like, the past couple months where we're getting the weekly 1 card every Sunday. Like, who thinks of that crap? I remember, what was it? We get normal or rare cards. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
There was a theory. There was a theory going around, and I think it has a lot of credibility to it, that at some point between mid-2017, Konami had another branch of developers that were kind of controlling the game, and that's when the game was at its peak. It was at its best, and then at some point Konami started realizing this game is making a lot of money. We're going to handle things from here, and they kind of replaced the people that were in charge of the game originally within their own company, and now it's now they're geared more towards making money over enjoyment.
Yeah, it's possible. What if Duel Links originally was entirely an outsourced from another company? You just never heard about it.
I mean, it could, because Konami.
Let's do it, guys. Let's create it. Let's do it.
Illuminati
They were
music
like,
here.
wow, okay,
I know
so
C++
the game's gonna
and
be even better after we take over. It's essentially what they probably said, I mean,
I know some C++ and Java. I say we just create our own version.
Come on, dude. There's so fucking many fan-made Yu-Gi-Oh games out there. Like, there's no fucking point. You know?
Well,
Dude,
while we're
you
on
ever
that
played
while we're on that subject, hey, let's talk about this for a moment. I have seen time and time again people in the comment section have said, "Why would you play Duel Links when you can play Yu-Gi-Oh Pro?" And I've talked about this a few times in a Discord, and here where it goes down. Yu-Gi-Oh Pro versus Duel Links. Why would you play Duel Links with all the problems it has over Yu-Gi-Oh Pro that gives you everything? Well, for one, that's one reason right off the bat. The fact that you get everything means there's no challenge, there's nothing to progress. You just get everything handed to you. Which,
yeah, it's a simulator.
Getting free stuff is nice.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro.
Getting free stuff is nice, but when you get everything, you get the full end game always right there guaranteed. You have nothing to achieve. You have nothing to progress to. There's no competition. You win or lose, it doesn't matter. You can. It's basically a simulation and not a game. While Duel Links is a game, so I mean that's just another, that's another thing right there. So it's like every time somebody says, "Why would you play Duel Links when there's Yu-Gi-Oh Pro?" That's exactly why. And another reason is there's a lot of people that may not be interested in the new formats. They may not like synchros or pendulums or exceeds or links. So maybe that's another reason why they don't want to play that over the Duel Links, because Duel Links was meant to be a nostalgia trip.
Right, just going back to it, there's a lot of things that's really weird on that, like, there's the lack of game modes. I mean, as far as, how come there is no option to just fucking switch, like as far as custom games, or say, okay, I don't want to play with this extra deck card, or this card right here, like, say, when Synchros come out, okay, you can go play casuals with your friend or whatever, catch your little special tournament, okay, you can't use Synchros. Like, I just...
Well, another thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro versus the whole Duel Links thing is the fact that a lot of people are just not big fans of playing unofficial things. No matter how bad the official thing is, it's just the fact that it's not official. So they don't want to play it, no matter how good it is or whatever. It's like, oh, Duel Links is made by Konami, Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro isn't, so I'm not touching Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro.
One question for everybody. What I was gonna say is, obviously you said maybe a year, 2 years. Obviously we get between 10 to 15 box sets a year. When do you actually think Konami will actually die out? Because technically, if you think about it, by the end of next year, we're gonna be at like 45 to 50 box sets, and I doubt it. We're gonna get new player base because they're gonna be like, what, 50 box sets to get into, and with this low gem count, like, when do you think it actually will be like, you know what, it's enough, it's enough?
Well, I'm going.
Anime talked on this a little bit. I know Anime was mentioning how they need to just eliminate those bottom box sets and either put them in like a selection box or just almost
discount them heavily.
Discount price. Yeah, there needs to be a way.
Like a card trader for some or something like that.
Well, if you think about it, if you think about it, this is lining up perfectly for the 3 to 5 year system, is which a lot of these anime-based games, a lot of these Japanese and Korean mobile games go. They go 3 to 5 years, and then they get replaced with a new version. So if you put in that perspective, January will be year 2, and we'll have just only had 5Ds for, a short while. And if you think about it, on year 3, if they add Zexal, that'll buy them 1 more year, and then they can end Duel Links. So Duel Links would have its 3-year run going up to Zexal, and then they would release a new game the year after that, which would be like, what, 2021, and there you go. And then we restart this process all over again. And that's probably what they're going to do, because a lot of these mobile games have a 3 to 5 year life expectancy. And if we're already getting ready to hit year 2, they have about 1 or 2 left. And that would make sense with Zexal still having to come.
Now I have a question, since we're on the topic of like future games. Say that did happen, unfortunately, and they did make a new game. What's your take? Have you guys played the PS2 game, Yu-Gi-Oh game from Konami called Duelist of the Roses?
Yeah, Duelist of the Roses for PS2.
Yeah. What if they made a remake of that game? Like, I feel like that could be a big hit. I know it's Konami, they could probably rig it, but I feel like a good remake of that game could be really popular. It's so different.
They kind of did. They made Yu-Gi-Oh! Bam.
I don't know what that is.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Bam. A lot of people don't know what Yu-Gi-Oh! Bam is, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Bam was actually the game that kind of inspired the idea to make Duel Links. It was the game that came before Duel Links. because you had Yu-Gi-Oh! Bam, and then we got Dual Generations, and then Yu-Gi-Oh! Bam ended, and then a year and a half later is when they announced Duel Links, and that's what we have now. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Bam was also a 3-monster, 3-back row, except the cards had their own mechanic. Like, they were just their own, they had their own customized effects and everything like that. But what's really sad about Yu-Gi-Oh! Bam and Duel Links, Bam actually had a story mode.
Oh, did it?
Yep. Yu-Gi-Oh! Bam actually had a story mode and Duel Links doesn't. That is just baffles my mind. Baffles my mind.
Even Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Evolution has a freaking story mode.
All these characters you can't make a crossover thing, like I did like on what's that movie? Bonds Beyond Time, like something like that.
What's that?
You know, like they're gonna like a crossover thing like Bonds Beyond Time, where the protagonists work together, something like that.
What, for Bam?
Not for like Duel Links.
Duel Links. I didn't catch what you said all the way.
Yeah. Wait, are you saying a crossover between Bam
something
and
like a crossover thing?
A crossover between Duel Links and another game? Like, you want a crossover event?
No, but between like Duel Links and like all the other like characters from different eras, like GX and
oh,
like, you know, say like GX versus
you like you're talking like you say
have like a semi-watered down some of the events, sort of, kind of.
You mean like the movie? You mean like how they did the movie Yu-Gi-Oh! Different Dimensions or whatever it was called, or whatever that movie was called? I can't remember. Where you had Yusei, Jaden, and Yugi all teaming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool if they do that. Honestly.
Yeah, they have all these characters. They don't do like basically don't do anything with them.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like Konami is dividing their own internal game in a way, because it's like you got OG world, and then you got the GX world, and then you got now you're gonna have 5D's world. They're all their own separate things, and when you have a character for an event that's in a dual world like a roaming, you have to go to that specific world only. And now you're taking away from people who want to do something for the OG or 5D's or or whatever else. It's like you're dividing everything internally. You shouldn't do that. It should all be one big world. It should be the world of Duel Links. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, because like I think the original like backstory Duel Links like kind of made Duel Links for some other reason, because he's Kaiba. He can do whatever he wants. He has a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And all these like characters from different times like lines come up here, and that would be so cool though. That'd be just amazing.
It would be cool. Now, I actually see a lot of comments coming in about events, how a story mode will kind of take away events. Honestly, events for me, I know there was a good event like the first season of this game, whereas like everyone who played a ranked duel had to use like Exodia pieces. They could do events like that where maybe you have to have certain pieces, or they could even make like a draft mode. If anyone's familiar with Magic the Gathering, where they just made like a fun kind of draft mode where you just get random cards, maybe from the older series or anything, and you just play with just a random 20-card deck or even 30-card deck if they increase it, hopefully.
Special duels would be great if they made them permanent. Yeah. Just give us a different special duel every week or every 2 weeks.
And there's like increased gem rewards, which is hopefully
or
something.
that event that you said that you played the first month. You remember, Josh? You mentioned that the first month that you played before the game actually dropped, that you didn't have to tribute summon a monster.
Oh yeah,
kind of cool for like.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, the first ever. Yeah, a lot of people that didn't play the game until January 2017, they did not get to see this event ever, and it was by far one of the most funnest events we ever had. It was the first ever special duel, and what it basically let you do is you could play with no tributes required. So if you run into a duel, you could just grab a Blue Eyes from your hand and summon it. You could grab a Red Eyes from your hand or a Dark Magician and just summon it. You did not have to pay the tribute cost. And Daedalus, just throw Daedalus on the field and pop an Umi, boom, instant board clear. It was beautiful. It was one of the funnest things. It was one of the funniest duel modes that I've ever seen. And it was great. We had a lot of fun. And could you imagine if they brought that back with the cards we have now? some of the things that we could do with no tributes required, like, bro, that would be hilarious.
Imagine
And
special duels, you start with 1,000 life points. No,
like,
that'd be hilarious. You start with 1,000 life points. Respawn.
Well, see, now that you say that, that gives me an idea. The Vagabond missions, why can't they turn that into a PvP mode?
I know, right?
You draw 2 cards instead of 1, or like, yeah, that would be.
You draw from your
use monster effects, dude. What if you can't use monster effects, dude? That'd be. That would stop all the problems.
That'd be hilarious. Sudden death. You both have 1 life point. Whoever hits first wins.
Oh my god. Whoever top deck sparks wins.
Oh my. No, but there's some good ones.
Well, see, if they would take the duel room and actually add mode filters to it, oh man, like you can make like customized games and stuff like that between you and your friends. Oh my goodness, that would take the game to a whole nother to new heights, because now you're basically creating internal content that the players control. It's like building like matchmaking in Halo. Like you can just set up all these different game modes for Deathmatch or Slayer or Griff Ball or some shit like that. If they could do stuff like that in the duel room, where you could set up to where both players can only use certain cards, you could do your own limited and ban lists and stuff like that for the duel room.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You could do, you start with 1,000 life points or 5,000. You get to start with 5 cards in your hand instead of 4. Bro, if they would add those filtering systems to the duel room, I would stream a lot more, because then I could just create a cool custom duel mode and have everybody on the stream join in and just have a great time.
Yeah, because they could be like more like a party thing, like a Mario Party thing. Like where you, that would be amazing. Like you can play it with your friends. Like the casual experience with Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links would be absolutely phenomenal.
Like that would just be so fun. Like it's insane. Absolutely awesome.
It'd be cool if we had like a battle royale mode.
I would love to talk to my opponent and be like, hey, bum, like whatever.
Man, we're all just sitting here dreaming right now, and Konami's watching the stream just laughing.
It's like those fools.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, you know what? Instead of giving you 1,000 gems, we're giving you 500.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, we all should be getting at least a minimum 1,500, because we should be getting 500 for the box, at least, I'd hope. I think what they should do with the structure decks, though, what I don't like about, even, I know the EX are fully just retarded, because they're full paywall, but even the regular structure decks are kind of weird to me. It's like you can go in for 500 gems the first time and get, go through it once, but then you cannot go through it the second and third time unless you use money. I don't know why they just don't let us just go in with money, or just use 1,500 gems to go through it 3 times. I don't, like, if I want to use gems, let me use my gems. Like, what the hell? Let me do it. Because it's like now you're like, it feels like they're trying to add more value to the structure decks than they would the box sets, because now the structure decks are more pay to win, because you're limited to only being able to go into it one time free with gems. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Yes, palm.
Don't you hate when they reset the EX jewels? Yes, I do, Amaterasu. I hate that.
Jesus Christ.
I would love to be able to just save my EX jewels just like I can save every other thing in the game, like gold, for example. Sit on it and use it when I need it. But, man, the EX, ugh. It's like, no, you don't use them, they're gone. Then you got to repeat the process all over again.
And like most of the time, the cards aren't even that really that good out anyway. Like 3 cards that are actually worth using or competitively relevant. All the others are just like gimmicky, or just have to do with the character or the event or whatever.
That's true.
One question, I don't know if anybody knows, even though that deck is non-existent. Why hasn't Tomb Dark Magician Girl been re-released yet? Like, if you weren't a newer player, you don't have that card.
That's a very good question. A lot of new players in the past year do not have Toon Dark Magician Girl. That should have been put at the card trader or as a PvP rank reward a long time ago.
I think it's one of those cards you have to have it won though. Like it has a really powerful first turn kill with it.
If we got Toon Briefcase, Toons would be kind of fun to play again if we had Toon Briefcase.
But but it makes no sense if you're a new player, you don't even have that card or way to get it. Like, imagine all of us thought, oh, we're only gonna get one lava golem or two, then we got a freaking third. Like, you telling me not even a new player could get a first Toon Dark Magician girl, even though the deck is non-existent? Like, you gotta be kidding me.
It makes no sense because tunes aren't even broken anymore anyway because of cards like Cosmic Cyclone. Just comes in and just takes that threat away. Sadly.
Even just like they got all these like 2 monsters on the field, flip like a backward destruction card, boom, they're all dead. Basically the kryptonite.
I mean, it makes sense. Makes sense. Konami's some kind of special.
Yeah, we need more like tune cards, like new tune cards, like based on the other protagonists.
Well, it's like why is Konami pushing so hard for bringing all these new metas in? Why don't we focus on some of the old metas that we still need more support for, like Gravekeepers, like Tunes, like Dark Magician, Red Eyes, Blue Eyes? There's just so many archetypes that we still missing so much support for.
Yeah. Give Red Eyes like his fusions and Red Eyes fusion. I can live happily with that. I can die in peace.
We actually, I kind of want more spirit monster support because we got a whole bunch of it in Valkyrie's Rage, but then got none of. Well, actually, we did get Yamada Dragon and the other flamey hair guy, but other than that, we got none after that, and I actually really liked them, but yeah. I kind of want more of that because we're missing what was it? One of the standard duelists uses it at like level 51 or something like that. But it's basically you banish one for a spirit from your grave, and then you special summon it, and it has like 2700 attack. And then when it kills something, you can destroy a spell or trap on your opponent's field. It's pretty good. Pretty sure it's something no Kami or something like that.
People like Yu-Gi-Oh because of the nostalgic feeling. I feel like they should, even though it's going back in time, should focus on the older characters, like what you just mentioned. Focus on Kaiba, on Joey, on Yugi. Like, make them get like, even if it's a broken skill, give them a broken skill so we could at least get that nostalgic. Oh, you know what? Let me play Kaiba again. It should be fun. And for those who's not in level 45 yet, I could grind out the levels because I'm gonna enjoy playing with this busted ass skill. Sorry for the curse in this YouTube, but yeah, so like focus on that rather than keep dropping like new characters. Like, come on, I need Gravekeeper, Necro Valley, or whatever. Like New York, I don't know. Konami keeps focusing on making money, and it's just annoying.
Do you guys watch Simply Unlucky?
Money.
Your content?
Me used to.
I've watched him a few times, yeah.
He posts a lot of like deck battles. And they're always like deck battles that are like last a long time and back and forth. I feel like they should add like a place where maybe you can like choose who you battle. For example, if you're using like a Dark Magician deck, you should be able to go into a menu and choose a guy who's using maybe like a deck or using a deck that kind of works well with it. I don't know.
One feature that I would absolutely love to have in this game is a feature that lets me grab. You kind of are going into like a simulation mode, and you basically can choose your character that you're facing, what their skill is, what deck they're using. You can build their cards, even if you don't even own the cards. You can make them build that deck, and then you can build a deck using cards from whatever box, even if it's a new box, if you don't own them. And that'll basically be like the training grounds, the arena, whatever you want to call it. And you can actually test a deck that you may be interested in buying or investing into against a meta deck that you created with the AI to kind of see how your deck stacks up. It's like a try before you buy, but also kind of like a training ground at the same time. I feel like that would have been an amazing feature to have in the game. But they don't exist.
Because Konami.
Yeah. But that would be great. I mean, I think that would encourage more people to spend too, because they'd be like, this deck actually is pretty damn good. So I'm going to go buy into that box.
There's more of like a sandbox playground type of thing. Like, I'm trying to like all these like strategy, like, oh, is this card good? Oh, I'm gonna buy it, waste all my resources getting it to it. They realize it's not meta. Then you cry.
Somebody says I test my decks in casual. Yeah, but Kyle, but you've already invested into those decks. So if they're not good, you've already screwed yourself.
Yeah, that's a waste of money.
I'm saying have a simulation, a simulator where you can actually take cards you don't own yet to try them out against a meta deck that you create to go against yourself, and then you can see if the deck's good for you or not.
I mean, Duel Links is basically like a virtual reality type of thing. So why can't we do virtual reality things?
Don't know.
Boggles the mind.
Do you think 5D skills are gonna make synchros more broken? I don't think so.
I just don't think the synchros that we have leaked right now are gonna do much of anything outside of maybe Black Rose Dragon. But
we don't know what the main box will contain. Maybe they'll contain.
It's all gonna come down to 3 elements. We gotta know what all the level up cards are for the characters up to 30. Which, if you guys are going by the past, we never really got any good cards from level up characters until at least level 38, 40, and 45. So if the characters are maxed out at 30, there's a good chance we might not get any good level up cards from any of the new characters from 5Ds. It's not impossible, but if we're going by factual information from the past, we never really got anything good until at least level 38. So I don't know if they're going to do it differently. I don't even know if level 30 is going to be gems, or if it's going to be a card, or if it's going to be a skill. I have no idea. We don't have that information yet either. But
is this being released on the 24th or the 25th?
The 25th at 1 a.m. Eastern time, or to 3 a.m., 4 a.m. if you're on the West Coast.
All right, so I'm staying up all night.
And it'll be more in the morning if you're like in Europe or whatever. Because I think it drops in Japan around noonish to like 3 p.m. on the 25th, so that'll be very, very early in the morning for the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm not going to bed. Be waking up.
No, I just joined the Discord. Are you gonna do like a live stream on?
I will be live streaming the 5D's release as soon as I get in after the maintenance. So I will be streaming everything live. Like, I'll be talking about everything, and if there's a need for a rant video, I'll do that separate. But
could you do like a Discord talk like this as well, or you just do like solo?
Probably for the live stream for that, I'll do it solo because I'll have gameplay in the background. And if I'm trying to focus on the chat, people in my head talking to me, and the game, it'll be very frustrating.
Yeah.
But it might make you not rage as much.
I'm just gonna attack directly with my Stardust Dragon. Like that one Yugioh commercial. Like with no monsters in the field, I summon Dark Magician to attack directly. Do that same thing with Stardust Dragon.
Let's talk about something that nobody's talking about, because this, of course, is a few months away, but it might be a point worth talking about. If 5D's is already coming this month, then what is their big plans for the 2-year anniversary in January?
Huh.
I was thinking about like a tag duel event, but they're doing that in October. But I'm hoping maybe not.
We know Obelisk is coming, right? It has to be Obelisk.
Obelisk will be here probably on October 25th, because that's Kaiba's birthday.
Yeah, but what about the Sacred Beast?
I'd assume it'd come that day anyway.
Sacred Beast would be cool.
Sacred Beast.
They're basically like discount Egyptian gods. Well, not really, because they're kind of better, sort of, but they're basically like GX's Egyptian gods. So the Yubel thing, almost over, and Yubel, use the Sacred Beast. It made sense to like bring them out, or they can just have a huge Yu-Gi-Oh! Palooza where you release all these like.
A 2-year anniversary would be a good time to probably drop a story mode and big major UI and game mechanic changes.
You know what we're getting for sure in the 2-year anniversary? 4 selection boxes.
Oh, we'll probably get that this month or next month. Watch.
I'll say this month as well for sure.
I feel like we might get. We're gonna get 4 selection boxes, because if you saw the 1-year anniversary, we had 1. Then the 1.5 mark, we had 2. This is the previous box, and then a new one. And I feel like we're either gonna get the 3rd one coming soon, or we're gonna get 3 in January, which is kind of crazy.
It's crazy.
Because remember, Konami Konami technically was at its peak in January because remember we had obviously it was the 1 year anniversary. We had the Slifer event, which was easy to get, and everything was like so fresh and new, and people thought, oh, it's better things to come. But sadly, it wasn't, since we had like 2 new box sets per month after that.
Let me ask you guys, what do you guys feel about this? Instead of Konami giving us 500 gems per every box that comes out, would you rather have one guaranteed summon that gives you 3 cards, but they're all guaranteed SR or higher? You get one summon, 3 cards. You can get minimum. You can get anywhere from 1 to 1 to 3 SRs, or 1 SR, 1 SR, and 1 UR, or something like that.
Well, statistically speaking, that would probably be the best choice. It's usually 10 packs. Usually, roughly you get maybe like 1 SR or UR at best. So yeah, that'd be better. But
they'd probably do it in a way where it won't count towards the packs in the box though. So you'd have to keep that in mind.
That wouldn't be bad, because then you could just get duplicate copies of it. I think it's good.
500 gems or a dream ticket? I don't even think that's a comparison, DMG.
or even something like how you mentioned before. When we get a deal, we get to choose our cards that we want. I remember you had even though it wasn't a rant video, it was just your voice. You had 12 acts of fools. It's like,
yeah,
Jesus.
That was ridiculous.
If we choose our SR or URs that we get, and we get a deal, if we're dropping close to technically 20 to 40, or even more if you're a whale on a box set, can we choose the cards we want to get in a deal rather than getting something we don't need?
It's weird.
That'd be good. I feel like these deals could be applied to gems. Like, if you spend like 2,000 gems, maybe out of those 2,000 gems, you're guaranteed an SR or something like that, or UR.
I think the game always should have been like this. Every multi that you do should be a guaranteed at least 1 SR or higher. I think that's fair. You're putting in 500 gems to 1,000 gems, whatever, and you can guarantee to get at least 1 SR or higher rarity. I feel like that's perfectly fair.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be out of the box, and you can get like a duplicate of it. It doesn't count towards the box. That would be really good.
Like an extra thing to incentivize you to buy more.
Yeah.
Yep. It'd be a big incentive to keep going for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna make me more. Thanks Konami for giving me this free thing. I'm going to spend more now. It's genius.
Yep.
Or people, obviously go crazy after when they reach the 5th or the 6th deal. The 5th or 6th deal, rather than getting a normal UR, is a prismatic UR from the box set.
Well, it's like, if you're thinking about investing in something, you're more likely to keep investing if you're already halfway there. If you're already halfway to building your deck, you're going to keep investing to finish it. But if you're going in like you're doing it now, and you can only afford to go in 40, 50 packs, and there's still over 100 plus to go, and you haven't even really made a dent into the deck, you're really discouraged to keep trying to invest because you don't really know how much RNG is just going to bend you over. So I feel like with the incentive of going in and doing like every 500 to 1,000 gems, you get a guaranteed SR or higher rarity, people's going to be more willing to invest with money in their gems to build up a deck, because they know that they're going to be getting a lot of the cards that they need eventually, by doing multis at a time. So instead of people going in and spending 50 gems for a pack here and there, they're going to start saving up 500 to 1,000 and doing the multi, because it's an incentive to actually invest.
When I have a question. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a lot of gate keys that I have not used. What if, how we get all those SR jewels and UR jewels? What if you use 3 SR jewels and you can get any SR out of any box or something like that? They're kind of like fragrance, and you have to use 3 or 4 of them to get a single copy of any card you want. Because then that'll make it useful to use your gate keys and farm a little bit more, so you get SR jewels and UR jewels.
They would probably make it a really steep price. Like, you'd have to drop 1,000 SR jewels to get an SR card.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I got in this podcast middle in. I don't know if somebody brought this up. I feel like somebody should change. I feel like Konami should change rank PvP like how they do with the KC Cup. that either you start, but even if you're in King of Games at the end of the season, you start back in Bronze, or if not, you go back 5 spaces either to Plat 3, but you'll get all the gem counts from Bronze going on to that level. Because I feel like it makes no sense. All that hard work to reach the King of Games for just 200 gems, and then we're back to Plat, and I feel like we should get all those gems from Bronze onward to Plat 3, or if not, start back to Bronze and work our way up and gain all those gems, even though it's not a lot, but close to 500 to 1,500 gems reaching back to King of Games is not bad, rather than 200 gems hitting King of Games.
Makes sense. They need to add more. They need to add more gem opportunities as well. Like maybe throw gems in PvP matches. Like you could just, you get gem drops during your PvP matches instead of just giving us keys constantly. And I swear, this is something no one's even brought up. I just thought of this. Could you guys imagine the biggest just FU to us if they release these new 5D characters and they use a different type of key?
The platinum key, the diamond key.
Oh man.
Dragon key, because 5 dragons, and they have dragons. It makes sense. So we're Konami. We're a very nice company.
You have to use a crimson key because together they create a crimson dragon. I don't.
In order to get these keys, you have to spend like 5,000 gems for like 6.
Oh man, that would just
I would not
suck.
be surprised if they did that. I would not be surprised.
They also need to do other things in the game too. They need to make some of the rewards more available, like the rainbow keys that you can get in the game, the dual orbs you can get in the game, and the vagrants. Why not make those rewards as well? Why not make those a PvP reward? Like if you win 100 matches, you can either get a ticket or you can get like 5 free vagrants or something. Add those to the reward list of events. I would love to have vagrants for free, or some way I can grind out to get them, because the time that those vagrants saves you on farming EXP is ridiculous.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't have to be like a full vagrant. Just like have like one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like you can grind to like.
Or maybe like a consecutive weekly login, like every 3 days you get 1 vagrant, and then once you hit the 7th day, then you get like 2 or more, or however it is, and then if it keeps adding up, once you hit the 30-day mark,
to be honest with you,
mark or whatever.
To be honest with you, I know a lot of may not agree, but I would take all the login reward gems off and replace them with the vagrants. I feel like the vagrants are more valuable than those 20 to 40 gems.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because what was their reward for 500 logins or something, like 150 gems or something like that?
You get 50. You get 50 gems.
Yeah. What if we get like something called like an ultra vagrant? Like a super hard challenge, like either with that type of vagrant, like maybe it's like an executive like anime like boss guy. You like rank up your thing like all the way back like 2 levels or something like that.
Man.
Now I have a question. Now, Fortnite is like the biggest game. What if they did like a membership thing, like what they're doing, like where it's just like cosmetic stuff, but you pay like, I don't know, $10 a month or like something.
If they did a monthly subscription, like if you pay $20 a month, you got like 1,000 to 1,500 gems per week. I think a lot of people would do that.
Like like something like that, and then like the more maybe you level up, or I don't know how they would do it. Maybe the more you level up, or the higher rank you are.
If they did that, they make it more. If they did that, they make it more affordable to the people who aren't really going to whale out. They're just going to be a casual spender. Like they'll spend a few bucks here and there. They would take the subscription every time. They would spend that $20, and Konami would make a fortune off that for sure. I mean, that's the formula that World of Warcraft's been going on for what, freaking 2 decades? Like, was it 20 a month subscription for everything, basically?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be much better.
Of course, they won't give you everything in a mobile game for $20 a month, but still, like that value of getting anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 gems a week, and maybe even a couple free vagrants. Oh, that's worth it for $20 a month, definitely.
Oh, a few vagrants, that would be good. That would be really good. Maybe like a random like guaranteed UR card from a box. I don't know, like something like that.
You know what? They should do something like that. Like if you pay a package, like say that $50 a month, you get at least one box set of your choosing, and then you get some vagrants. Like rather than wasting 50 to 100 to not get the get into a box and not even get the card that you want, you pay a monthly deal. Like like I don't know if you guys watch wrestling, the WWE Network. Like you could use the subscription and you could cancel whenever you want. That you'll pay $50 or even lower, whatever you might do. You get the box set and you get some vagrants, but you have to pay that 50 that month. And then after you pay that 50, if you're satisfied, you could leave or you could just stay hooked.
I mean, I think a lot of people would do it. I mean, it's just a good deal, getting a monthly subscription for a good value. I don't see why nobody wouldn't do that.
Exactly, you're getting from, like, if you have, imagine, obviously I don't know how many people are in this game, but if you think there's 10,000 people still playing this game and at least half of them is paying $50 a month for subscription, then constantly every month you're gonna get close to 500 to $1 million a month based on that type of deal. And if they want, they could cancel, but it's whatever. At least you're getting money from that, and you'll still have the deals on the side if they want to do even more.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, the good thing with Fortnite is, like, the more, for example, I pay like $10 for the season pass. The more I play it, that $10 turns into $20. $20 turns into $30, and I don't even need to pay $10 anymore. They should make it to where maybe like the higher rank you are, maybe you don't have to pay the $10 the next month. You know what I mean? Like you just you did good that month, so now you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay that $10 fee next month or something like that.
Yeah, this is like how it fix the major problem with Duel Links. Like it's not really rewarding. You don't really get like the same like satisfaction that you get like all that work you put into. You don't really get much back. So I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah, so it gives you an incentive, at least a little incentive to reach King of Games or whatever. And then you don't have to pay that $10 next month because there's already a lot of options to pay in this game.
They got those super weekly challenges that we get that are just dumb. They need to make performance rewards, like rewards that you get at the end of the month for doing certain achievements, like hitting platinum, legend, King of Games, beating a standard duelist 100 times for the month, beating a vagabond or whatever, winning so many matches in PvP, logging in for so many days or so many days in a row, just things like that. A performance bonus, something that just tells the player at the end of the month, you put in a lot of hard work, here's a good reward for you.
Yeah, I would absolutely love that. That'll make me actually want to play competitively a lot again.
Yeah, like they give you a performance-based reward. Like, more performance, the better your performance throughout the month, the better reward you get. That'd be great. But anyways, guys, we've been going at it for 2 hours and 42 minutes, so I think we've pretty much talked about everything we want to talk about on the podcast, so we're going to be going live again on the 25th. I might be live tomorrow, do some dueling, I don't know, but the 25th, as soon as 5D's drops, we'll definitely be live.
All I have to say is they should ban Beaver Warrior.
Wait,
Beaver Warrior.
You're saying you're gonna be live at 4 in the morning?
Whenever 5D's drops on the 25th, yeah, I'll be live.
Nice.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you guys all enjoyed the stream. Subscribe if you're new.
I'm not gonna lie, I might just stay in this lounge chat.
So I'll catch you guys all later. Till next time. Have a great evening, everyone. Peace.